Disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. All use is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use term made by copyright statute that underlies the infringement. Non-profit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I am going to explain a new Korean drama for you guys named We All Lie. The episode starts with our male lead, Sho Hong, who is in his house when he sees a girl. She comes in and says, "Honey, I have come back," making it seem as if they are husband and wife. Just as they are about to enjoy a romantic moment together, a sound comes from outside, scaring both of them. We then find out that this girl is not Sho Hong's wife. His actual wife is on a business trip. He ignores the noise and tries to enjoy the moment again, but the girl asks him to wait and goes outside. As soon as she leaves, she is murdered by someone. He calls out to the girl, but instead his wife comes back holding a knife. In fear, he asks her to calm down and says he will explain everything, but she comes to him and takes his life. From here, we see that this was actually a story written by the female lead of our drama. She is a very popular scriptwriter whose stories are liked by everyone. During an interview, we learned that in all the dramas for which Suli has written scripts, her husband, Sho Hong, has played the lead role for the fourth time. When a reporter asks about this, Suli replies jokingly that because he is her husband, she doesn't have to pay him. She then says, "Apart from being my husband, Sho Hong is a very nice person and a capable actor." Sho Hong, trusting himself so much, thanks her in front of everyone, holds her hand and tells her, "I love you." After the press conference, when Sho Hong is alone, his co-star Nana comes to him and follows him. Sho Hong, very interested in her, asks why she is doing all this. She says that she has been working with him for a long time and likes him a lot. Sho Hong says that he is already married, but Nana is not bothered by this. She opens her dress and starts to force herself on him. Meanwhile, Suli comes in, and seeing this, Sho Hong starts explaining everything to her. However, Suli probably already knew. She goes straight to Nana, slaps her, and says that because of her behavior, she is removing her from the lead role. Nana, very proud, says that she was recommended by Mr. San. Suli knew this, so she takes the phone from Nana and gives her two options: either Nana should leave or Mr. San should take back the money from her company. Suli then leaves with Sho Hong, and Nana loses the role. After coming home, when Soo Hang was cooking, Suli comes there and tells him, "My honey also knows how to cook and act. How did I get such a perfect honey?" On this, Shuvang says, "I do not know how to praise others like you, but Suli, that's not true. When you proposed to me, I heard a lot of praise." Soo Hang starts repeating the same things he had said while proposing to Suli. He says, "When I saw you for the first time, I understood that you are the true love of my life. Just like gravity brings things together, our meeting was also due to gravity. Why don't we hold each other's hands for life so you can become the second luckiest person in the world?" When Suli asks why the second, Shivang says, "Because I want to be the first lucky person in the world," after which they hug each other. But Suli asks him, "Will you regret marrying me so soon because of your increasing following? You will meet many young girls." He introduces her, saying, "That won't happen because there's already an octopus stuck to me." Both of them kiss each other. From this we come to know that their married life is going well, and they are very happy and love each other very much. At night, when Suli gets up to go to the washroom, she gets a message on Soo Hang's phone that says, "Miss you, sweetheart." As soon as Suli comes back, she looks at his phone, whose light was on, but then ignores it and goes to sleep. The next morning at the breakfast table, she asks him about the messages from last night. Why did you miss her so late at night? After listening to who was messaging him, he thinks for a while and says, "It was Mr. Wu. He had been missing me for a long time and wanted to have a drink together." Seeing Suli's expressions, Soo Hang understands that she did not believe him. So he shows her their chat, in which he had invited her for drinks after receiving Missy's message. She takes a sigh of relief after seeing that. Later, when Suli was setting the clothes in the cupboard, she finds a shoe bill in Soo Hang's pocket. Seeing this, she thinks that Soo Hang wanted to surprise her, but is surprised to find out that it is not in her mentioned size. She starts thinking that maybe he ordered it in the wrong size by mistake. After going to her office, Suli was taking auditions because she had removed the female lead from Soo Hang's drama. Soo Hang comes there with some girl and introduces her, saying her name is Cindy and this is our dot. She is not in the company and is also very good in acting. Then Sully's eyes fall on Cindy's feet, where she was wearing shoes of the same brand, the slip of which he had got from Shaha's pants. Now he was not able to understand that. She is wondering whether she is right or wrong, so she asks Candy to send it later. Then when Soo Hang's photo shoot was going on, Suli comes to her shoot and comes to know that Soo Hang's agent is Suli from her college time. There is also a friend whose name is Zhao. After talking to each other, Zhao leaves the two of them alone and goes away from there, but then Suli sees that Wayne was also wearing the same shoes. Then we see an event from here where the best scriptwriter was going to be given an award, which Soli gets. To receive the award, she comes on the stage where the host Young tells her that on this occasion you should give me a treat, to which she agrees. Now after the event, we see that Young had a producer who wanted to cast Mr. Django in his next drama, but he didn't see fit in Young, and he was touching her in a weird way, which is what Sully sees. So she raises her voice against him and tells him that if you have money, does it mean you can do whatever you want? Then she insults him and says that I lack an actor who can play the character of a shameless playboy. You will be absolutely perfect for this role, after which she takes Young with her. Now at night, when Soli takes Young for dinner, Young tells her that she has not got any role this year, which is the last role. She had played the role of a villain, after which she got a lot of hate, so she explains to him that it means you played the role of a villain very well. She was just leaving from there when Sully realized her identity with director Jang. He is seen with Miss Wang, where while talking, Soli suggests him to hire Young for her upcoming cast, and she tells him that her best friend is very talented. Then when Soli tells Swang about Mr. Wu, when she is talking to him, she comes to know that he had an accident last month and he is on bed rest. On hearing this, she gets surprised and starts thinking that if this is true, then why should Mr. Recently, why would she send a message to Shohan and invite him for a drink? This was what was going on in Suli's mind while going back. Seeing her so upset, Ing asks her the reason. Soli tells her that I have found out that Suhan has lied to me. If he is cheating on me, then Young tells him that all this is the result of your work. I don't even know your husband well. He also knows how much you both love each other, so why is he cheating? While dropping the finger, Sully tells him that till now I have only heard about your boyfriend, please introduce him sometime. On this, she says that he is very busy and is mostly abroad, so then will we be able to meet someday? Now while leaving from there, Sully notices the same shoes on his feet, but this time he does not pay much attention to them. From here again, we see Su-hang, who gets a message from someone saying I miss you, after which he leaves the driver. When Su-hang comes back to the car and hugs him, he was smelling a very strong perfume, which was quite strange. It was because he had told that he had gone for a meeting and there was never such a strong perfume there. She now asks him directly if he is cheating on me, and in response, Xuan says that in the meeting everyone has used perfume to remove the smell that you were smoking because you don't like smoking. If you want, you can ask Mr. Wu. So, Sully tells that while coming back, I met Mr. Wu's wife, who told me that Xu Hong gets tense after hearing that he met with an accident and he is on bed rest. Meanwhile, he gets a call from Mr. Wu, seeing which Sully asks him to pick up the call and put it on the speaker. As soon as he does so, from the front comes the voice of Mr. Wu, who had actually called to tell Su-hang that he had lost his lighter at his place. After talking to him, Sheng asks Sully, have you believed what he heard now? She starts apologizing to him and says that perhaps I was too engrossed in my script. Now, after some time, we see that everyone comes to their house for dinner, where Su-hang is cooking food with his hands in the kitchen. He was cooking food, but then Zhao's secretary tells him that he has to leave from here urgently, hearing which Zhao gets upset because she was the one who was going to drop everyone after the party, but Sully sends him from here. From where, while leaving in Sha while she was watching, she comes to know that perhaps gas is leaking in her house. Hearing this, she gets scared and starts leaving from there. When Sully comes to know about this, she asks Shaha to go with her. She asks him to help her so that she can help him, but we see that as soon as they reach home, they start making out there, which means Sully was right in suspecting that her husband is cheating on her, but she did not think that the girl will be his best friend. After their work is done, both of them come back for dinner, and we come to know that Mr. Vo knew about Su-hang's affair and used to help him every time. While she was touching Su-hang's feet from below, Cindy asks Sully for soda, and as soon as she goes to the kitchen to get it, she gets a message from an unknown number that her husband is cheating on her and the girl is cheating on him. After reading the message, at that time, present on their dinner table, Sully goes into hobby and starts looking at those three girls with suspicion. Now, as soon as Sully returns to the table, she is no longer the same as before. The message had created a lot of suspicion. She was so lost in her own thoughts that she didn't even notice that Mr. Vio was asking her to have a drink with him, which when Su-hang notices, he himself instead of Sully. Seeing this, everyone thinks that she is taking care of her, but Sully herself picks up the glass and finishes it, for which everyone cheers, but she does all this to reduce her pain. Everyone was now asking them to kiss, so without wasting a moment, Sully kisses Shuang and starts looking at the faces of all three of them, because if the girl who cheated on her is here, then she will definitely kiss them. Seeing her doing it, her facial expression would change, but the expression of none of them would change, and everyone was very happy for her. Even at night, Sully was not able to sleep. She was being tensed about that message, so she called on that unknown number. She calls, but the phone was switched off. The next day, she shares all this with Young. Little does she know that the person she trusts so much is the culprit. Young asks her if she has talked to Shivank about this. When we talk about it, Shuli refuses because it will alert him. Young asks if he is really cheating on you, will you divorce him? To which she says yes and says that, but before that, I will talk to both of them. I will make Jan's life difficult like a cat mercilessly hunts a mouse. Hearing such things from him, I get very tense, and then a lady comes there who had recognized her because she had acted in a TV show like Young. When she tells him that yes, she is the same lady, then the lady throws coffee on him. Actually, in that drama, Young had ruined a family. Believing the truth of that role, the lady was very angry at him. Seeing everything, the staff there handles them. Then tells that her boyfriend is also coming to pick her up, so she will have to go. We see that her boyfriend is Shu Hong. Seeing C in such a condition, Shu asks what has happened and who are you with? Then she tells him that she was with a friend, but she does not tell him that the friend was Sulai. After some time, we see Sully who, after seeing Shaha's schedule, reaches the meeting location to meet him, but going there, she learns from Secretary Wang that the meeting got cancelled at the last minute. Chuli now asks him to call Suhang to find out where he might be. She takes out her phone to call him, in which Soli sees that she had saved Suhang's number in the same name as Zhao, but she had kept a very minor difference in both the names. She had done this because she was afraid that if her phone wandered somewhere, it would cause harm to her. Suhang's number will be leaked. This thing hits Suli, and she remembers that the message from Mr. Wu that Suhang had shown her had an extra space in it, whereas the Mr. Wu who had called her at that time had that space missing. Now she refuses to call Gang and says, "Don't tell me that I came here." After coming home, Soli was sitting quietly and then comes back. He tells her that today is my whole day. Na leaves for the meeting and immediately goes to take a bath, behind which she goes to check his phone, but it had a password on it. Now, as soon as she puts the number written on the ring in the phone gets unlocked. Now, as soon as she opens the chats of Mr. Vo's contact, she gets quite surprised and suddenly her breath stops because there was all the proof of her affair which she was not able to bear, that her husband whom she loved. She liked him the most in this world and he was cheating on her in this way, but still he did not know that that girl was actually his best friend Young. Now, just as Suhang was about to come out, he came in the name of Mr. Another message comes that please come tonight, seeing which Suli cries a lot. Then Shivank comes out and says that today I will cook food and we will have candlelight dinner. Then she hides her tears and says yes to him. Now she is with all of them. She remembers what Shivank had told her about their love. Because of all this, she gets so upset that even her temper gets a little disturbed. Looking at her, it seemed as if she had accepted defeat. But then she gets ready very well and takes off her ring. Then she goes to Shuang with a knife. Seeing him like this, he gets very scared, but she had come there to help him. Now, while having dinner, Shuang is in a very romantic mood, but after knowing the truth, Shuli was not at all. Seeing her behaving like this, he asks her that it is possible that you don't love me anymore, to which she says that I love you so much. He gets very scared after hearing this, that I can even take your life. Then Soli says that I was just joking. Now both of us drink wine, while Soli says that the taste of wine seems different today. Then Soli says that yes, I did. The brand has been changed, but in reality he had secretly mixed something in her drink while cooking. After drinking it, as soon as Suli falls into a deep sleep, Shuang puts her to sleep in the bedroom and goes away from there, but we see he realizes that Suli was just pretending to sleep. In fact, while drinking the drink, she noticed that there was something mixed in it. She also remembers the message in which the girl invited him to meet her tonight. That's why she understands that there is something wrong with the wine, and after drinking the wine, she goes to the washroom and vomits. Soli now chases Suhang in a taxi, where she reaches a bar. Suhang, along with his secretary Mr. Wu, had also come there. Then Ring comes there and sits on Shuvang's lap and kisses him. Seeing this, Suli cannot bear the tears and she sits there and starts crying. How come all these people know about his affair but are hiding it from everyone? After some time, Suhang and June go out and enter separate elevators but both get down on the same floor. When Suli sees they both go to a private room to spend the night, seeing this she gets very angry. Without caring about anything, she was about to move towards the room and knock, but she stops herself. Now she goes out and uses a public phone. She calls the police and tells them the room number of their hotel and says that prostitution activity is going on there. we see the day when Soo-hang had made a lot of decorations for Soli. Soli was unaware that he was going to propose to her today. When she was clicking her photo, Soo-hang deliberately touched her from top to bottom. Soli falls and runs towards him to see, but she gets surprised because Soo-hang had done all this to propose to her. Now he proposes to her for marriage here and says that at the moment I have no money and no fame, but I will love you all my life. If my words are false, I am ready to go to hell. The scene comes to the present, and we see that the police have taken the show from that hotel room. Hong and Young are caught. When she was taking them, Suli clicks their photos. After reaching the police station, they are interrogated, where So-hang is repeatedly telling the officer that this girl is not a prostitute. On their insistence, he reveals that he is having an affair. On the other hand, Ing also tells about her affair, and after getting everything cleared, the police release them, but both of them were quite disturbed by all this at night. Now, after reaching back home, Soo-hang starts sleeping with Suli, but she pretends to be asleep and hits him on the face, so he now sleeps quietly. On the other hand, Young was not able to sleep. She calls Soo-hang, whose number she had saved in the name of daily necessities, but her phone was getting switched off, due to which she gets frustrated and says that after going home, she doesn't even bother to pick up the phone. Now she starts thinking about it. How come Suli has so much while I have nothing? Then she takes out a protection and pin from the drone. Now the scene comes to Suli from here. We see that she meets her lawyer with those photos. When she talks to him about divorce, the lawyer asks about the financial condition of her family, in which she tells that Soo-hang had recently invested in some businesses, but all his money was lost, so there is no need for support in the family. Right now, she is dependent only on me on the name. After hearing this, the lawyer says that if there is a divorce in this situation, you will suffer a loss because half of your property will go in her name. Now Suli thinks all night about how she can get this property. To settle the matter, she decides that she will take double the amount from Soo-hang as he had given her till now. The next morning, we see Suli standing over Soo-hang with a knife while he was sleeping. Seeing her open like this, he gets very nervous and asks, "Honey, what are you doing?" Suli asks him, "Why did you cheat me?" Hearing this, he starts denying that he did not do anything like that, but Suli tells him, "Don't worry, I was taking inspiration for the new script," hearing which he takes a sigh of relief. Then Suli tells him that his acting was very good all this time, as if he was really cheating on her. After this, both of them have breakfast together. During breakfast, Suli asks him about Young and how he is. He starts saying that he is not familiar enough with him to tell much. Suli clarifies that she meant how it would be if he is in a new drama, if she plays the female lead with him. Soo-hang agrees, saying that he has heard a lot about her acting and they can give her a chance. In the next scene, we see Soli at the police station because she made the complaint the previous night and the police did not find anything there. Soli says that she knows, and she also knows that they are having an affair because she is Soo-hang's wife. The police officer finds her and lets her go. Soli now goes to meet Sung because she used to manage Soo-hang's schedule. There she tells him that he was the one who messaged her that night. Sung gets a little nervous and denies it, but she says, "Don't be afraid, I have come to say thank you because of you, I was able to see the whole truth in front of my eyes." She now cries and hugs him, saying that if he needs her help in the future, he should remember her. Now the scene shifts to Suli's office. She was about to take the audition for the female lead in the new drama. Ring is also there. Seeing her, Suli asks what she is doing there. Ring says that she has come to give an audition. Soli deliberately says in front of everyone that if she had known Ring was coming, she wouldn't have taken the audition because they are so close. Hearing this, the rest of the contestants start watching Ring in the video. Hence, no one was talking to Young or wanted to be her partner. As soon as the audition started, instead of giving marks to the other contestants, Soli started talking to Ring and drawing on the resume. When Naki's turn comes, she deliberately knocks down one of the contestants, seeing which everyone starts laughing. Now, when Suli sees that Ring has no partner, she herself decides to help her. Young is very happy to see that the rest of the contestants will know that her priority is more than them here, but Sally calls him into action and slaps him 2 or 3 times. Seeing this, Young is first shocked and doesn't understand anything, but when Suli asks her to act, she also gets into the flow. Under the pretext of acting, Suli was venting out her anger on him. She says, "You snatched my boyfriend from me." Young responds, "He is my husband. He was just a little distracted by you and nothing else." As soon as the act ends, Sally starts pretending to worry, asking whether she hit him too hard, but she praised her acting. She also says, "I will definitely talk to the director about your main role," hearing which she becomes very happy. After this, Young is now cast for this drama, and Shu Hong now spends most of his working time with her so that Suli wouldn't have any problems, as if he had planned something different. When Shu Hong and Young are giving an interview, Ho Shu asks Hong, "If today you are single and Suli and anyone else had to be in the ring, who would it be on this?" He says that both have their plus points, so he would like both of them. Then, while apologizing on TV, he tells Suli that he is doing all this just for the sake of publicity. Next, we see Suli calling someone and saying that she has photographs of actor Shu Hong and actress Young's affair. She wants to make this news trending so that people can understand that she cast them because she wanted to expose him on a national level. That evening, when Shu Hong goes to meet Young, Young gives him the same protection that he had already destroyed with a pin. Now, when they watch the news in which their affair was being reported, they are shocked to see it, but in those photographs their faces were blurred. It was written in the headlines that a married actor got into an affair with another actress whom she mistook for an affair. It seems that someone will definitely demand money from him to delete the original photo, and the same happens. He gets a message from an unknown number saying that they have very strong evidence of his affair. When Shu Hong asks for proof, Soli sends him the original photograph. Seeing this, they become convinced that they are trapped. Now, when the blackmailer asks for his demand, Soli asks for 5 million yuan in return and gives them only 1 day's time, otherwise she will sell these photos to someone else. Hearing such a huge amount, both of them are shocked because they got the role after a long time and did not have that much money. Shu Hong had also lost all the money he had invested. Now, looking at this situation, Young tells Shu Hong that he should ask for help from his wife. She must have enough money, and he should tell her a big lie to get that much money. At night, when Shu Hong is having dinner with Soli, she secretly messages him and reminds him that he has only 16 hours left. After seeing this, Shu Hong musters the courage and tells Soli that he wanted money from her. Soli pretends to ask if he wants 200 yuan, but as soon as he tells her 5 million yuan, she gets shocked and says that his affair has been exposed through some paparazzi and someone is blackmailing him. The poor guy is surprised to hear that she is asking for such a huge amount and says that some time ago he had received a call from Mr. Wu, who wants to launch a program with him in which he will get a lot of profit, and he promises to return the money. She says there is no need for it and that she will send the money tomorrow itself. The next day, Shu Hong is sitting very worried with Young because there is only a little time left for the 24 hours to end when the money arrives in his account. Just as he is about to transfer it to the blackmailer, Young stops him and says that he should not send all the money at once. He should send 5,000 yen first and make the excuse that he is not able to send more money. He will be able to file a case of blackmailing against him, whose punishment is 10 years. In return, he can also get the photos deleted. However, their plan backfires when the blackmailer, Sarah Mount, asks them to bring the cash and tells them the time and location. Now, how does he collect all the cash and reach an exhibition center where the blackmailer had called him? After security checking, he goes to a floor and puts the money in a dustbin, where after some time, a lady cleaning there finds it.as soon as she opens the dustbin and was about to take out the bag. Shuang catches her but is surprised when he realizes that she is just a cleaning employee there. Shuang quickly opens the bag and finds only pieces of paper in it. He does not understand what happened in front of him and where the money went. We then see that Suli was actually sitting there disguised as a security guard. During the security check, she exchanged the bag full of money. She now keeps the money in her car, and we also see Gang, who was helping her in that work. When Angie had talked about paying 5,000 yen to the blackmailer, Gang had overheard the plan, and Suli had to do all this drama to remove Su Heng's rights on this money. Now, the money was hers. Later, she calls someone and promises to send the photo of actor Sha and the actress's affair so that Kiki can stop the headlines by tomorrow. After coming home, she marks Shu Hong's photo with lipstick because now her game is over. The next day, we see Su Heng and Yang with their agent Zhao, who was handling the news of their affair on the call. She was trying to make everyone believe that it was just fake news, but due to receiving too many calls, she gets very angry with Shuang because all their careers were at stake due to his actions. Young also gets frustrated and starts saying that the blackmailer has cheated them by taking their money, but Shuang says Gang was listening to all these things while sitting there. He tells them that he has contacted many companies to publicize them through fake social media accounts, but all refused. When Bang asks the reason, he tells that their competitors must have hired them before us. Then he gets a call from the director of the show, who gets very angry and shouts at him, "Our shoot was about to start in a few days, but before that, you created such a big problem. Now, what answer will I give to the investors?" He gives Shuang 2 days to fix everything, or else they will have to pay for whatever loss they suffer from their own pockets. Gang had called Solly and had heard whatever they had talked about till now. Seeing his smile, we can understand that he has further plans. She now starts live streaming where she suggests some books to her viewers and tells them that these books were gifted to her by her husband. She then starts talking very good things about Shuang on the live stream. The audience asks her to check the news here. On the other hand, the situation was getting out of control. Jia sends Gav out and tells Su Hang that he should ask his wife for help in this matter. If she announces that whatever is going on in the news till now is all fake and that they had just gone to the hotel for a meeting about their script, which they had organized, it might help. But Young says that Suli is not an idiot who can be fooled so easily. She will believe what we say. In response, he says that she is an idiot, otherwise they would not have been able to keep her in the dark for so long. Meanwhile, Soli, on the request of her audience, checks the news on the trending page. It shows Shu Hong and Young's affair. After reading it, she starts crying, pretending to be a hobby. Her supporters now ask her to leave her husband, and all her fans were supporting her. She goes away from the live stream to control herself. This increases people's sympathy for her even more. On the other hand, Su Hang calls Suli for help, but she doesn't pick up the phone, so he thinks she must be sleeping. Then Gang comes in nervous and tells him that Suli saw the news of his affair while live streaming, due to which her fans have now become even more against them. They are now demanding to select a new lease for this drama. Seeing this, all three of them understand that now they too are not going to get any help from Suli, but in the meantime, Suli comes there, and these people are surprised to see her. As soon as she comes, she says to Shuvank that "I have faith in you, that all the news on the internet is false." Su Hang, and he could not believe that even after all this, she still trusts him so much, and says that "both of you are my most important things in this world. Be close. And I can never believe that you would cheat on me." Shahak also starts telling his lies here. He tells her that after having drinks that night, when he fell asleep, he called us for a script meeting. But soon after reaching there, the police arrived, and after explaining the whole situation to him, he asked for help in getting him arrested. But Suli says that this is a temporary solution, and there is no guarantee that after this, Shu Hong and Young would want to see each other together again. Zhao suggests that for the time being, he will stop all the projects and work of both of you. Once things calm down, you guys can come back again. But for Young, the drama was very important. Su Hang and Jay agree on Soli's point and start planning what to say at the press conference. Young now meets with Shu Hong alone, where she asks if he doesn't find it strange that Soli never does live streams. Why did she do a live stream only after the scandal? She was gaining everyone's sympathy by crying on the live stream. But according to Shubham, if she does not want to implicate them, she would not do so. She does not help them, but on the contrary, he starts praising Suli for how good she is, having trusted them without asking any questions. But on the contrary, they are the ones betraying her. Now he tells her to go home and says he will handle all this. We then see that Shaha comes back home with Suli, where he hugs her and says that she is so good, but Suli tells him that because he is busy with work, he must not have eaten. She has prepared soup for him and will bring it now. As he tastes the soup, its condition is very bad. We see that Suli deliberately put too many spices and salt in that soup. But to keep her heart, Shuang forcefully drinks the entire soup, which makes Suli very happy. Sina comes back to Mr. Wu, whom her aunt tells that Shuang's assistant is here for contract termination. After thinking something, he asks Gang to call him inside, where he was staring at him again and again. Now when he reads the contract, he asks Gang to delete some terms in it, otherwise his boss Su Hang will have to pay an extra 2 million yuan as compensation. When Gang asks to see the contract, he signs it before she can and says, "Why should I leave this money?" Gang starts requesting him to go back and sign the contract, assuring that they will take good care of her. Because if it's her fault, then she will have to pay this money, which she can't afford. Mr. Wu tells her that he can fix all this if she spends a night with him, which shocks her. As soon as she hears that, she refuses, but when he tells her about 1 million yuan, she gets worried. That same night we see Soli, who starts pretending to babble in her sleep with Su Hang, saying, "Please, don't leave me." Hearing her voice, he wakes up and tells her that he is not going anywhere. At the same time, he also gets a message from Young, in which she apologizes to him, saying that in the future she will never doubt Suli. But he is tired and sleeps without replying. The next day, we see the three of them at the press conference where everyone questions them about the whole matter. Shuvang first apologizes to everyone for the controversy and thanks Soli. Then he starts explaining that on that night they were called for a script reading meeting, but young and he arrived early, which was his biggest mistake. Because despite being married, he was in a hotel with another girl. To correct this mistake, he is quitting his upcoming drama and stopping all his work, asking for a second chance from all his fans. When Soli is questioned, she says that she knew about the meeting and has full faith in her best friend that she will never do anything like this. Young also comes forward, apologizing to everyone, saying that because of her, they had to suffer so much. There was a big misunderstanding. She tearfully announces that she has decided to leave the role of lead actress and is stepping away from the industry for a while. She starts holding Shuang's hand, but he removes his hand from hers. Cheese also sees this and comes to Young to take care of her. She tells everyone in the press that Young is very remorseful for her mistake, and that is why she will fall at his feet in front of everyone and apologize. All the reporters are surprised to hear this. Even Young goes because she didn't expect it, but when Sully said it, she had to do it in front of everyone. Now we see Gang, who is trying to be romantic with her husband, but he is busy with his phone and doesn't pay any attention to her. Just as she is about to jump on him, he suddenly gets up and leaves because he had to go to a meeting. After leaving, Gang receives a message from Mr. Wu, who had sent her the hotel room number and time, asking her when to come. She becomes very worried and starts calling Suli for help but stops after thinking something. Then she messages her husband saying, "I want to talk to you," but we see that instead of meeting, he is partying with his friends, ignoring her message and telling his friends that he wants to divorce Gang. He tells them that he is a successful businessman and doesn't feel right living with an ordinary girl like Gang anymore. On top of that, there is nothing like love between them. The scene now shifts to Su Hang, who is sitting in the car to go home after work. When he sits inside, Young surprises him because she had a spare key to his car, which she used to come here. She comes forward and tells Shu Hong that she missed him a lot today, to which he says that they had met in the press meeting. But she tells him, "Why do I think that Suli deliberately made me apologize in front of everyone? And maybe she was the one who leaked our news." Su Hang takes Suli's side and says that she can't do this. He tells her that he has hired someone to investigate the matter, but until this whole issue is resolved, they will have to meet less. He kisses her on the forehead and says that he will always be there for her. Young gets out of the car sadly as she has to go for some work. Then we see Mr. Wu, who very excitedly reaches the hotel room where he had called Gang to blackmail her. As soon as he enters, he is shocked because it is not Gang sitting inside but his wife. Seeing her, he loses his senses. His wife is very angry because of his actions and starts hitting him. In reality, Gang had helped Suli by sending Mr. Wu's wife in her place to the hotel. The next day, we see Suli taking Gang shopping, where she gives her a necklace as a gift because she helped her a lot. Gang refuses to accept it because it was too expensive for her, but Suli convinces her, saying that she is very pretty and deserves such an expensive gift. Then both of them go to have lunch together in an expensive restaurant. On the other hand, while Su Hang is driving, he receives information that leaves him shocked. We see Su Hang wearing a mask and reaching a location with Zhao. Maybe they had traced the number of that blackmailer, but there they meet a beggar whom they think is the one who gave them 5 million yuan. On hearing this, the man who was pretending to be disabled suddenly becomes sour and says that since when did begging become blackmailing? She takes away the beggar's phone, and when she checks it, it is in it. Those were the messages that the blackmailer had sent her. Zhao asks if this is your phone, but he tells her that he got it from a dustbin. Zhao says that this phone is mine and goes away with it, so that he can find out that it is the real mail. Meanwhile, when Shuvang goes home, he tells Sally that there is someone who is helping me in catching the person spreading my rumors. With his help, he has got the phone of that blackmailer. Suli gets tensed after hearing this, which was with a beggar, and tells him not to pay too much attention to the things of others. To which Shuvang says that you care so much for me, how will I repay you for your love? So Suli says that you love me all your life. Shuang now starts getting romantic by kissing her, but Suli backs down, saying that she is not feeling good. Now she goes inside and brushes her because she had kissed him at night even while sleeping. Shuang was trying to come close to her, but she was moving away from him. The next day, when Shuang was preparing breakfast for both of them, he gets a photo from Young's number in which she was very hurt, and when he called her, her phone was not even working, so he immediately leaves from there to meet her. Now, as soon as Soli comes down, she sees that breakfast was on the table. There was also a note along with it in which Shuang had written that she had to go to Argentina due to some work, so she had breakfast without him, but she threw that breakfast in the dustbin. Meanwhile, when Shuang reached Ninqi's house, he ran away. He sees that she is absolutely fine. He had done all this drama to meet her, due to which Shua gets angry and he forbids Anda Young from doing this. Yan says that she has prepared breakfast for both of us, but he refuses her and goes away from there, seeing which she also gets angry and throws the food in the Dodge bun. The scene now comes to Suli. She, along with Gang, meets her lawyer, from whose talks it is revealed that Suli is abroad. She is about to take the property and asks the lawyer to hide all this from Su Hang. After he leaves, Suli sees that Gang is very upset. When asked, she tells that she is very nervous about breaking the contract with Mr. Wu, on which Suli says, while leaving from there, Suli tells Gang that these days Su Hang is very busy in keeping me and him happy. On this she says that this is a good thing, but then she says that no, that is not what I mean. But Suli says that now it doesn't matter to her except one thing, which she tells secretly. After listening to her, Gang says that she has an idea for this. Gang, now she will be taken to a herbal medical center. When the doctor comes, Suli tells that the patient is my friend's husband, who is very active in having a physical relationship, but my friend is afraid that he might have a problem. That is why she is taking medicine. Hearing this, the doctor gives him a medicine and asks him to take it daily. This may reduce his desire to be physical, but its side effects are that it will make him sleep a lot and also feel very emotional. After reaching home, when Shapang comes to Soli, she tells him that there is no smell coming from you and starts telling him some symptoms like you get angry more, etc., which he says yes. Hearing this, she takes out the tablet and gives it to him, saying that today I have brought this for you. Shavaik is very happy to see him taking so much care of her, but she leaves from there saying that she wants to take a bath and starts waiting there, so that after some time, as soon as she comes to the room, she sees that Su Hang was asleep, after which she also goes and sleeps comfortably. The next day, Soli was getting ready to go to the premiere of a movie. Shavaik selects the dress. When Soli comes wearing it, he keeps looking at her, and seeing that he was sitting down and adjusting her dress, he remembers the wedding ceremony of Sully Khan. After this, they go for the premiere, where Young had also come. She tries to get to know the director who had come there, but due to the controversy, no one was even talking to her properly. Meanwhile, when Soli meets the director, she meets him very well. When he talks to Soli, Soli introduces Young to the director and tells him that she is very busy these days due to fake rumors, even though she also has a boyfriend. After they leave, Soli asks Young to introduce her to her boyfriend. But she pretends that she is not busy, and now to avoid this, Xuan also takes her away from here. In the premiere, Young was sitting behind these two, where she was looking at Shuang again and again. As soon as the premiere starts, Shuang starts getting emotional after watching the movie, which was not for Soli. Then she remembers that this is happening due to the side effects of the medicine. She now becomes more emotional and Soli gets upset. When he hugs her, she also starts consoling him deliberately. Young was very jealous after seeing all this. The next day, she tells all this to Gang when she was with him for shopping. He also went here to see the dress so that he can get the contract re-signed by Mr. Wu, for which Suli guides him like a professional as to what attitude he should have while going there. Now, when Gang meets Mr. Wu, when she meets him, she tells him that I have come here to get the contract signed. He says that I have already done that. Ganga says that if a contract is not approved by both the parties, then there will be negotiation between the two parties. After this, it is rectified again. If this matter cannot be resolved through negotiation, then we will have to take action. Mr. Wu says that I do not care about your legal action, do whatever you want. Hearing this, Suli threatens him that if you don't agree, I will make your harassing messages public. After this, think for yourself what will happen to your image and your company. After hearing this, he gets scared and signs the contract. Gang is very sad while leaving from there. She is happy and tells this to Suli first. Suli now comes to Gon's house for dinner, where she was helping him in the work, but she did not know how to cook properly, due to which she makes a mess. Now, after cooking, both of them sit together for dinner and celebrate the negotiation with Mr. Kang. The food here was very good. Shuri says that your husband must be so lucky, he loves you a lot. But she becomes sad and tells that her relationship with her husband is not special. Even while living at home, they talk to each other very little. She tells that, but my husband's company has secured the funding. Lee, we are celebrating her tomorrow, but she came to know about this from her friend. Now Gang starts feeling that maybe I am an embarrassment for her. That is why she does not want to take me anywhere with her. I am a very ordinary girl. But Soli asks her the time and place of celebration and says that you are not going to surprise everyone tomorrow. Scene now comes to Sung, who was looking for the keys of her house. Then a girl comes running and says somewhere, "This key is not yours, I found it fallen here." Seeing this, she asks NGO, "Where are your parents?" Then the girl tells that they have taken her younger brother to the amusement park because they love him more. That is why she finds his key. The voice of the parents comes. The girl goes back into the house. Now after coming back home, she calls Soo Hang while she is cooking, but he does not pick up her call, due to which she gets very angry and starts vomiting. Due to which she was very happy because she felt that perhaps her plan of becoming the mother of Soo Hong's child has been successful. So she now goes to meet Soo Hong, who was jogging in the park. She calls him, but he is unable to hear, so she calls him, but he sees her call and starts jogging after hitting her. Seeing him so changed, she gets very angry, and as soon as Shuva comes home, he sees that Sully is not at home, but Inge was sitting there, seeing which he gets completely surprised. She tells him that, "Why did you not pick up my call? That is why I had to come here." He was worried that Inge had heard about their affair. Sully was not informed about this, but Ingi goes inside the house and starts looking at Sully's clothes and tells Soo Hang that if you do not pick up my calls from now on, then I cannot say what I will do after this. Let me do it. Here we see Sully from outside, who was coming back home from shopping, and here Shahan was getting very upset due to Naki's actions. She goes and lies down on his bed. How can Shunga try to send him away from here? But she starts kissing him. Meanwhile, Sully also comes inside the house, but as soon as she comes, both of them start behaving normally. Young was acting as if she is exploring his house. Now, because when it was about to be lunchtime, Sully went to the kitchen to cook food. Meanwhile, she quickly cleaned the lipstick mark on Soo Hang's face. She said that Sully is so stupid she doesn't even know how to apply lipstick. Shaha ignores those words and goes to the kitchen to help him. They were sitting together having lunch. Seeing the boy who starts vomiting, Sully says that it seems that he has got an infection in his stomach. But Young says that she has good news, that I am pregnant, which makes Shah happy to hear. Sully also has to congratulate her while hiding his surprise here, and Ing asks for a promise from him that you will be my wife. Being the child's godmother is something to which Sol has to say yes with a sad heart. She asks him if he has told his boyfriend about this, and Young says that yes, he also just found out now due to his ill health. She gives it and leaves from here, seeing which Soo Hang says to Sully that I should drop her and come. For this she agrees. Now, when Soo Hang goes to drop Jing, he tells her that how can you get pregnant? I had used protection every time. Seeing this, Ing asks whether you are running away from your responsibilities, but he says that no, it is not so. Then Ing says that then you should divorce Sully and stop him from this thing. When Soo Hang asks for time and says that I will take the responsibility, Young ignores his words. Next day, when Soo Hang was taking Sully out for lunch, he gets a message from Young that he is not well. But Shuang says that she had a plan to go out for lunch. Then Young says that I don't know, you cancel your plan. If you can't do it, then I will talk to Sully. So now Shuang tells her lie. He tells her that he has some emergency work to do, so they will have to cancel their lunch plans. While going from there, he cuts Sully herself so that she can go shopping and get whatever she wants, after which he meets Young. She goes to meet him, where both of them spend some time together. She notices that Shovank is sleeping a lot these days, so she tells him that these days I have become more irritable, so because of this he has to take medicine, maybe it will have side effects. Now it was too late for him with Young, so he starts leaving, but she asks him to stay for a while, but he kisses her and goes away as soon as he gets into the car. When he sits and checks his phone, he gets shocked because the bill for the shopping done by Sully was very high. He calls her and starts asking what shopping she has done. Then Sully asks if I have done anything. I may have spent too much, but I didn't even notice it, but he tells her to keep her mind. No, there is no such thing. You have the right on my money. Solia disconnects the phone and we watch that he had actually spent all the money to get Gang the goods. Gang tells him that he did not need to spend so much on him, but Sully was enjoying Shuang spending so much money, and now he wants to give Gang his money. Husband drops the party at the location. When Ing reaches there, her husband comes to her and introduces her to everyone. Everyone is surprised to see Kang there because her husband has never seen her at any event before. Now Shan takes Gang aside and asks, what are you doing here? On which she says that I have come here to celebrate your success, but looking at Shan, it seems that it was said that he is not happy with her coming here, but now that she has come, he has to include her in the party. Just as he was about to start his speech, he gets a call in which he comes to know that they were having a party to celebrate the investment. Actually, it has been cancelled, and seeing this, he gets very upset. When Gang comes to talk to him due to being very upset, he suddenly tells her in anger, hits him and says, stop annoying me, but everyone sees this thing there and is quite surprised. Then Shan goes back and continues his speech in front of everyone normally and pretends as if something this may not have happened, but poor Kang, who had come here in a good mood to impress her husband, did not think that this would happen to her, and she starts crying. Sen now comes from here on the cross, which is Shu. She was helping Hong select the dress, because yesterday she got an invitation to a charity auction where they both had to go together so that she could also put an end to the rumors that are going on between her and Young. Next now both of them go to the charity auction where everyone is shown a special kind of diamond, but he did not come here for beating because it was already bought by someone. When the host takes his name, it was none other than Sho Hong, who himself is surprised to hear when he bought it. The host explains that the carat number of the diamond matches with Sully's birth date, which is why he bought this diamond. Leah then tells that Su-hang has also promised to pay him 2 million extra yen to buy this diamond. When Su-hang talks to Sally about this, she says that this is my idea. Through this, we all will be able to prove that how much you love me and are not cheating on me. Shu-hang then holds her hand in front of everyone and says that as long as you are happy, I will buy even more expensive diamonds for you. Now let us see this scene of the night before. When Suli meets her lawyer, he suggests to her that if any jewelry is expensive, then the court will consider it as marital property during the divorce. Hence, Suli will have to find a way by which Su-hang can give her the jewelry item as a gift, and at that time there must be some gems nearby. That is why Suli bought that diamond in the auction. Now when Su-hang was paying for it, all his cards were declining because he did not have that much balance. Seeing this, Suli comes to him and gives him the money. She gives the card which he had given her to use last time so that she makes the payment. Now we see Gang, who was very upset about whatever happened in the party last night, and then Shahan wakes up, who is very late. It was done. She tells Gang that you were very tired because of the party, so I did not wake you up. Now she starts talking to him about tomorrow night, but he says that you should stay away from my company matter. While leaving, he looks at the fish tank and says that this fish tank is too small for these two fishes, so you will have to let one go. After this, Gang now goes to meet Suli, where Suli asks him about the party last night. But here she was lost in her own thoughts. Then her eyes fell on Young, who was going somewhere while drinking coffee and was quite surprised because a pregnant lady should not drink coffee. Seeing this, Suli now took her car and went to her place. She goes in front and says, "Let me give you a lift." Then Young also comes and sits in her car. Seeing so much luggage, Suli says that you should not lift such heavy luggage. "Where is your boyfriend on this?" She says that she is busy and has given me her card so that I can do shopping. On this, Soli says that right now you need companyship and all these things cannot be avoided with money. A boy should be with his partner, it seems from his actions. It is said that boys like him are only attracted to beautiful girls. Now, because these people were going while talking, suddenly the traffic light turns red and Sally hits the brakes so hard that the car behind does not get time to stop and they meet with an accident due to which both of them get minor injuries. Now we see in the hospital where Shuhag comes running and sees Suli, whose hand was scratched. Meanwhile, the doctor comes out and tells about their condition due to which there was no special injury. Shivank nervously asks her about the child. How is she? She gives the doctor's report and tells that she is not pregnant. Later it is revealed that she was just pretending to be pregnant. When she saw him drinking coffee, she understood this, and this whole accident scene was her plan so that she could show Suhang his truth. Then Eng also comes out, who had an injury on her head. Suli says that the doctor told that you are not pregnant. Shivank was very angry after hearing that, so he leaves pretending to do some work. After leaving, he was applying medicine on Suli's hands when he gets a call from her, but he puts the phone on silent. Suli also notices the thing. The next day we see that Suli was taking Suhang with her to meet the boss of Yashin Entertainment, due to which Suhang's tension was increasing a bit because if his agency came to know about this, then while working with them, he is going to meet the boss of some other agency. So there can be a problem, but Soli says, "Don't worry, you should think that you are going to meet my friend, your boss will not know." But when these people were meeting there, the boss of Shuang's agency had also come there. He sees this thing and thinks that he is going to work in another agency, so he calls and orders everyone to go to Shah's office. Stop all the projects. Suli also sees everything but does not say anything because this was also her plan. After the meeting, Suli calls someone and asks him to make headlines that Suhang has found a new agency. Only then Suhang now, when they were going from here to the parking lot, a fast car was about to hit Suli. In order to save her, Shuang pulls her towards himself and both of them fall down. Nothing happens to Suli but Suhang. Suhan's leg starts bleeding due to an injury. From here we see him in the hospital where the doctor is treating Suhan's leg. He tells Suli that nowadays it is very rare to find such boys who allow themselves to get into trouble. But for Suhan, it was a big deal that Sully is fine. He asks him to wait outside because he was afraid of blood. Sully now comes out and calls someone and tells him that the news which I have tried to spread. She told him to stop her right now, after which she supports him and starts taking him with her. Persali goes to Kala for some work. She was refusing for this, but Shuvang says, "Don't worry, I will tell my assistant. You go to your work to pick me up." Now, as soon as Sully leaves from there, we see that Shaha was not facing any problem in walking. He was just pretending to do all this. Then the same car approached him. Young comes inside, who was trying to hit Sully, and we come to know that actually this accident was a plan of both of them. From here we see the scene from a while ago when Suhang goes to the washroom, and then Young, she comes to meet him and tells him that Sully has known everything about their affair for a long time and she is busy in getting the property transferred. She tells him how when I leave for some work, when I went to meet the lawyer, I saw Sully there, which seemed strange to me, so I saw the divorce papers in the name of Sully in the lawyer's cab. Gradually, he understood that whatever problems he was facing till now, she was coming. Actually, Sully was behind it. She not only wants a divorce, but also wants to end his career so that he can be blacklisted from the industry. For proof, she also shows him the photos of those documents. Now, in the present, Young and Shuang kisses each other, where Suhang says, "It's good that you married me at the right time, otherwise I would have got trapped in his false promises again." He now decides to take back all his things from Sully because it's the last time. He tricks her into buying a diamond, after which we see Shuvang taking Sully with him on a special dinner. During the dinner, he gets up in the middle and goes to the washroom. After he leaves, a person in a beer costume comes in. A couple sitting at a nearby table takes out a ring and gives it to the man. The man takes the ring and proposes to the girl, but she rejects him by throwing the ring. Seeing this, Sully likes the ring. When she picks it up, she sees a photo of Shuvang and herself inside it. The man in the bear costume then takes her with him. Shuvang shows all their memories on a projector, and she gets lost in them. Then on the screen, a third anniversary wish appears, and he removes his bear mask, revealing himself as Shuvang. He gets down on one knee, presents a ring to Sully, and wishes her a happy third anniversary. He promises to always love her and hugs her. From Shuvang's expression, it is clear that he is doing all this to win Sully's trust. While driving back home, Sully is confused because on one hand Shuvang is cheating on her, but on the other hand he is being very caring. When they get home, she wakes Shuvang, who responds that he has been feeling very sleepy lately. Sully notes that he seems more comfortable at home. Upon returning home, Sully hides the medicine Shuvang used to give her daily. Shuvang arrives and tells her that the ring is very special and should be kept safe. As Sully is about to store the ring in her locker, Shuvang follows her and sees the pin to her locker. Next, we see Gang waiting for Shuvang outside her office for their dinner date. However, Shuvang's employee informs her that Shuvang has already left for a business trip. Gang pretends to have forgotten and walks away. The employee talks about a party where Gang was slapped by Shuvang, which makes her feel bad. Gang tries to call Shuvang when she gets home, but his phone is unreachable. The next day, we see Sully and Gang together. Gang notices Sully drinking a lot of lemon water, which seems strange to Sully. Gang asks Sully how things are with her husband, and Sully nervously responds that everything is fine. To change the subject, Gang mentions she received a call from the property agent. Sully had planned to handle the paperwork this week but appears lost in thought. Gang then asks if Shuvang has developed a soft spot for her after the accident. Sully acknowledges that Shuvang has changed and is treating her very well lately, even ending his relationship with Ring. On the other hand, we see Shuvang stealing all the jewelry from Sully's locker and taking it to a jewelry shop with Young. His plan is to sell the real jewelry and replace it with fake pieces. Sully, meanwhile, is impressed by Shuvang's behavior and suspects that he might be aware of her affair. Gang is shocked to hear this, but Sully is pleased with her successful trap. Sully meets Gang, who has a pouch of fake jewelry. Sully realizes that a confrontation is imminent and sits down with Shuvang. Shuvang asks when she discovered the truth. Sully questions whether it was the cheating, the lies, or the theft of her jewelry that made her suspicious. Shuvang admits that from the outside it seems like his fault, but Sully counters that it was also his fault from the inside and argues with Young. Sully says that she never intended this situation and thanks Shuvang for helping her remove two major problems from her life, himself and Young. Instead of accepting his mistakes, Shuvang argues, accusing Sully of seeking revenge and forcing him to steal fake jewelry. Sully then reveals that all the jewelry is real and that she has the receipts. She threatens to call the police and have him arrested, pointing out that the police will be interested in the theft for his mistress, not whether the jewelry is real or fake. She blackmails Shuvang, demanding that he replace the fake jewelry with real pieces within 3 days. Angrily, Shivank leaves and throws their wedding photo away. Sully then goes to Gang, who is struggling with heavy boxes alone. Gang's neighbor, Jaho, helps her carry them inside. After thanking Jaho, Gang returns home and finds Shivank questioning her about the boxes. Shivank notices the glass on the floor and questions Gang about who visited. Gang explains that their neighbor helped with the boxes. Shivank admonishes her for allowing strangers into the house and gives her clothes to wash. Gang, thinking it's a gift, realizes the truth. He gives it to Soo-hang and goes to Naka's house, where they both take out all the expensive things they had saved, but they are still short of Rs 1 million. On the other hand, Sully, standing near the aquarium, learns from the lawyer that the property she was buying abroad has become hers. She is happy that she can finally walk away from this relationship. Though she feels bad about ending it, she accepts it as God's will, seeing it as a second chance. Sully returns to her Gang, who is sleeping. She gets a call in the middle of the night from Shanab, who asks her to come urgently with a file he forgot. Sully quickly reaches his location but is shocked to find a party going on. When she inquires, everyone explains that they were playing Truth and Dare and had bet that Gang would come at midnight on Shanab's request without asking questions. Now everyone is sitting down having lost the bet, and Shanab wins, which is why no one is happy to see Sully. Angrily, Sully leaves, followed by Shanab, who claims it was just a joke. Sully is hurt because she came through trouble thinking she was important, only to find out it was a joke. Shanab pretends innocence, saying it was necessary because all the people there are his clients and colleagues. After working all day, he wanted to come home but had to party with them. He traps her in his words and sends her back home. Though Sully feels it was a compulsion, she doesn't express her hurt but finds Shanab partying again when she returns. The next day, Gang is in a hurry and collides with him, causing her food to fall. Gang apologizes and asks for the money, while Shanab, seeing the situation, says they can at least afford the sister-in-law. He puts the money in her polythene and takes Gang with him despite her refusal. After coming home, Shanab is angry at Gang for being too close and nice to the neighbor. Gang explains that as a neighbor, it is their duty to be polite. Shanab feels bad and accuses her of speaking to him differently. Gang raises her voice, leading to an argument. Shanab feels hurt by this unusual behavior and says she has never fought with him like this before. Gang locks herself in the room, and Shanab leaves angrily. The scene shifts to Sully discussing the next story with her team when suddenly her health deteriorates. Later, we see her in the hospital where the doctor informs her that she is 7 weeks pregnant, leaving her surprised. We see Soo-hang, whose shoot was going on, but his co-actor was not able to act well, which made him angry. Looking at the director, it seemed that he was treating the other actor better than Soo-hang. During the break, while Soo-hang was sitting, he noticed another actor named Lu sitting in front of him and getting a massage. Soo-hang tells him that acting is not his cup of tea because he cannot remember the lines. They have a scene where they argue, and we come to know that Soo-hang's role is quite small, for which Lu criticizes him. Their argument increases until Zhao comes and takes care of the matter. Soo-hang is very angry and Zhao reminds him that he had requested work because he needed money and this was the only role available. After the shoot, when Gang is with Sully, Soo-hang asks how he is working to lower his value to collect money. Sully says that she will bite him in such a way that he will never be able to fly. She then asks Gang to go with her for an abortion tomorrow. Gang is surprised to hear that Sully is pregnant, but Sully explains that she has decided not to keep the child. Gang starts buying flat shoes for her and tells her that even if the baby stays for a day, she has to take care of it. Hearing this, Sully gets a little emotional and wears those shoes. The next day, we see Sully and Gang in the hospital, where the doctor gives Sully an ultrasound to confirm that she is 8 weeks pregnant. The doctor shows the baby and notes some sounds, explaining that it is the baby's heartbeat. The doctor asks Sully if this is her final decision and Sully confirms. The doctor then schedules her for the next week. Meanwhile, when Sully is not at home, Sha takes all his stuff from their home. He then goes to Sully's room and starts doing something with her laptop. Gang talks with Sully, asking her to rethink the decision of not keeping the child, but Sully does not respond. Gang goes to complete the documentation, and Sully meets a girl and her mother. Sully gives the girl candy and asks her age, to which the girl replies that she is quite old. Sully starts laughing and the girl's mother explains that her father is far away, so she has to take responsibility, as she can't leave him alone. The lady then takes the girl away. The scene shifts to Shivank at the shoot location, where Zhao informs him that actor Lu is taking time to get ready. Shivank notices documents in Zhao's garden. While Young waits in the car, Shivank takes Zhao's bag and goes outside. Seeing the documents, he realizes that actor Lu was going to get 10 million yuan for working in this play. Shuvang becomes very angry, realizing that Lu, who can't act, is getting so much money. Angry, he throws the documents in the car. When Anne asks, he explains that such an actor is being paid more than him. Anne mentions buying jewelry but questions giving their hard-earned money to Sulai. She wonders what will happen if they divorce and he gets nothing. Shuvang reveals a pen drive containing a script written by Cross, which he sold to a company. If Sully refuses to share the property equally after the divorce, he plans to leak it, ruining Cross's work and filing a case against him and the company. Anne is happy to see that they now have a way to deal with Sully. After they leave, Gang retrieves the pen drive from the car. Sully, upon returning home, thinks about everything that happened at the hospital and falls asleep on the sofa due to tension. The next day, Su-hang and Yan are having breakfast when they learn from their mobiles about the trending news that actor Lu is getting paid a huge fee for working in a drama. People are very angry, believing that paying such a large amount to an actor like Lu is a scandal. It is revealed that this news was leaked by both Su-hang and Yan. Reporters surround Lu as soon as he reaches the company. Zhao saves him and takes him inside, where the boss is very angry about the leaked information. The boss asks for Lu to be replaced by another actor, and an angry Lu leaves the place. Outside, Lu meets Su-hang, who offers him lines. It was difficult to remember, so don't take tension, sit comfortably at home. While I look at Sully, who was still sleeping, then the doorbell rings, which wakes her up. When she goes and looks, there is a song outside. Hui, who is very nervous, tells her about Su-hang and Ring's plan and how they are planning a trick against her, and she also shows him the pen drive. As when Sally looks at the pen drive, it was completely blank. Then Shuang sends her a video clip in which it was clearly visible that Gang was found in the car after they left. He also sends her the scandalous news that if these two incidents are connected, then the entire blame for this news being leaked will be on Gang. Because those documents were also kept in the car, but he had cut that entire clip so that it could not be known that Gang had not even seen the document, but she had just gone away with the pen drive. After seeing this, Sully and Gang get tense because he was trapped in her plan. We now see these four where Sully Shuangi says that you do not need to bring others into our matter, but Shuvank says against me. She was helping you in playing tricks, then how can I leave her? Sully now asks her for her terms, and he tells her that I want you to divorce easily without revealing that I have cheated on you and I want a half share in the property. Otherwise I will leak this video. Gang says that I have not done anything like this, but Young threatens her that people will believe our video and not even cross on your words. Now it is their condition. She agrees, but Young doesn't stop here. She says that the way you leaked the news of our affair has had a bad impact on our career, so now you will have to get us work in the top 3 dramas, and also pay for our financial losses. Then Gang says that all this has happened because of your affair. You also want to make Sully pay for all this. If it is so, then who is the compensator for Sully's abortion? Only then Gang is released. What did she say? And Su-hang gets surprised to hear this. When he asks Sully about it, she says, don't take tension, my marriage with you is just an illusion for me. I am in such a hurry to get rid of you. I do not want to keep this child, and as for Yankee, she tells him that I feel very bad seeing you. If you are making the mistake of considering me weak, then I am ready to fight in front of everyone. And if Yankee does not accept the demands, Siobhan says that we have only this much demand. If you don't mind, then I will get the documents made. Now while leaving, Sully tells him that Gang is my assistant from now on. After leaving from here, Siobhan was in deep thought. Key was about to jump the red light, but Young asks him to drive carefully. On the other hand, when Gang reaches home, Shan was drinking. He asks her the reason for coming late, but she does not give any answer. Like now, he holds her hand and then the ultrasound report falls from her bag. When Shan picks it up and looks at it, he thinks that it is Kang's report. He thinks that she is cheating on him with the neighbor. Kang wants to clear his doubt. She also tries to prove that this report is not his, but he does not listen to her. Now he goes to Zhao's door to fight in an intoxicated state and calls her out. As soon as Zhao opens the door, he is shocked and he falls unconscious there. When Anki wakes up in the middle of the night, Shunga is not with her and he was sitting and watching TV at night. Seeing his condition, she understands that Sully's child will prove to be a threat to her. Maybe for which he will have to do something or the other. The next day we see Shan, who was having a lot of headache after waking up in the morning. When he comes out, he sees that Gang was sitting ready with her backpack and she was sitting in front of him. She keeps the divorce papers and says that I have not signed it, you also do it. Shan says that after cheating on me, now you are giving me a divorce too. Then she forwards the report to him and says that it is the report of Sully. And I have never cheated on you. Seeing the report, he accepts his mistake and asks the village to prepare breakfast. But she says that this time I thought the whole night that how can you pretend to be work and stay out all day and night? You party and stay away from me. You don't consider me anything more than a table, nor do you respect me. Now you have also started making false allegations against me. From what you did yesterday, I have understood that after hearing that I want to get out of this pointless marriage. Shani does not try to understand her even once but angrily signs the divorce paper and says that you will regret it. He himself leaves the house asking her to stay here. He leaves and Gang starts crying. After this, we see Yan, who wakes up in the morning and sees that Shaz had slept on the sofa. She wakes him up. She knew that he was worried about Sully's pregnancy when she talks to him in the bar. Shuvank says that the decision of the child is on the cross. Then someone knocks on the door. When Shuvank opens the door, Jav has come out, who comes inside and asks him if Sally is pregnant because this was told to her by Young. Tahia Jah tells him that we cannot take the risk of bringing a baby into this world because it will make it difficult for Shuvank to come back. Then Shuvank says that what does the baby have to do with my coming back anyway? It is considered for divorce. If she has gone, she tells Young that in future, Sully should not use that child to emotionally blackmail you. Because of this, you will be accused of leaving your wife and child abandoned, and she will convince him that this will increase the problem for them a lot. Suhang says, okay, I will talk to her. Suhang now goes to Suli's house to meet her, whereas she pours water in the glass. Shaha thinks that she is giving it to him to drink, but she herself drinks it. Now he starts talking to her about work and says that when I came to know about your pregnancy, I thought about it the whole night, and I think we should get together again. Hearing this, Sully says, you are so strange. How can you do something like this? Swang now comes to her and says, the baby needs a father. But Sully tells him the date of her surgery and says, you are right, my baby needs a father. I need you, but I can't let you become that father. I couldn't find a good husband for myself, but I will definitely find a good father for my next child. Shuang starts requesting her, I will prove myself as a good father and husband if I have a chance. Sully says, okay, I have some conditions. She continues, first we will divorce and marry again. You will not get anything in this divorce, and after marrying again, we should make an agreement that everything is mine. The second condition is that she will not help him in his work, and she asks him if he still wants to be a good father and husband. After hearing this, he is unable to say anything and starts leaving from there. Before leaving, Sully asks him to leave the house keys here, and he keeps them and leaves. Young was waiting for him in the parking lot. When asked, Shuvank lies that she does not want to talk about the child but did. Ya becomes very happy after hearing how she has been convinced not to have a child and her surgery is on Wednesday. We then see Gang, who is drinking at a bar when a man starts being rude to her. To escape, Gang kicks him, but after that we see him in the police where Sully takes him away from there. When she was taking him to his home, Gang refuses, saying that he is not at his home. She wants to go. That is why Sully now starts taking her to her house. Meanwhile, Gang tells her about her divorce, that when her husband suspected her of having an affair, she divorced him because she was fed up with the daily scenes. She also says, when we got married, he used to treat me very well, but as his career progressed, he paid less attention to me. But now he is sad about his decision of divorce. When she was feeling regretful, Sully says, you should not pay attention to anyone's words, just speak the truth to yourself and I will always support you. But Gang had started feeling unhappy with his family. He was feeling that everything in his life had ended, so Sully shows him a wrong turn. After which the navigation shows him a new path where she was indirectly trying to tell him that you just keep moving forward, and the new path will be created automatically. On the other hand, we see Cooley, who was very tense about Sully's surgery and was not able to sleep, so the next day she reaches the hospital with Shuvank because she wanted to see him going into the operation theater to see if he really wanted to undergo the surgery or not. Here, Shuri was waiting for her turn in the hospital with Gang. Then an emergency case comes there in which the patient needed blood. Both Gang and Sully had blood group ABB, but Sully was pregnant. That's why those people take blood from Gang. When these people go back to the operation theater, they see that the lady whom they helped has had a baby. Seeing this, Gang says, this baby has found itself between death and life. It has been saved and will grow up to be very strong. But Sully was lost in the happiness of that child's family. Now she tells Gang that she has decided to keep the child, hearing which she becomes very happy, and both of them start leaving from there. Seeing this, Young comes in front of her and says, you cannot break your promise. But Sully tells her, the child is mine, so the decision will be mine too. You have nothing to do with it. Hearing this, Young gets very angry at her. Now, after coming home, when Shivank was reading the script, Young throws him and asks him what he is going to do with Suli's child. He says it is her own decision, and I have to prepare for the audition. Hearing this, she angrily leaves from there. The next day, Suli reaches Gang in the morning to pick her up. The first thing she shows him is a file in which she had planned her pregnancy completely because she wants to give birth to her child very badly. She wanted to give a good life. Now they go to the hospital where Suli books a very good pregnancy room for them. Then they do a lot of shopping for the baby. Kang was helping her in carrying the luggage and also taking care of her. Now, when it's time for her to leave, Suli tells her to be ready tomorrow at 6 because she had something planned. From here we again see Gang, who is taking a fish out of his fish tank. She leaves it inside the pawn shop, which she was feeling very good about because in a way, she too had come out of that marriage and could live her life well. The next day, when she was getting ready, Shan Vi comes to her. Seeing Gang getting ready so much, who had forgotten some of his belongings, he asks her where and with whom she is going, and she says, "You have no right to ask all this, and I too do not want to know anything about you. If you have got your stuff, then go away from here." Now, as soon as Gang comes down and sits in the car and goes away, Shan looks at her and starts saying that he found his new love so soon. But he did not know that Suli is gone with Suli now, and celebrates by taking Gang to the riverside as both of them had talked about the new beginning of their life. Both of them now start talking about typical male behavior, where Gang says that she learned cooking to please her husband, but he was never happy. To this, Soli says that you are innocent enough you think that we can make men happy with food. Soli then starts shouting loudly and abusing Shan. Here Soli was also abusing Shu Hong, and he feels very good by venting out all his anger in this way. Now, because Gang had drunk too much, Soli asked him to drop her off at his home. She comes for him, but Shan was still waiting for her there. As soon as she saw him, she pounced on him. Seeing all this, Suli was also having a lot of fun. She gets ready, starts beating Shan, and leaves from there. When she asks for a lesson, he also takes the opportunity and leaves. Suli takes him to his room. Sen now comes to Young, who was going somewhere. Then he sees a lady who was scolding the same girl with whom Young was talking. The lady Young met earlier was the mother of that child and was angry at him because he did not take care of his younger brother while playing, due to which he fell. The girl said that her exams are coming, so she should prepare for them. But her mother wanted her to take her brother out for outings and focus only on taking care of him. She even told her that you have to grow up and marry a rich person, and we have to take money from him so that we can build a house for your brother. The girl starts looking at them with the hope of getting help, but Young ignores them and leaves. Now at night, while she was sitting inside the house, Shuang suddenly appears drunk. She comes back in a state of shock after she comes to know that her audition did not go well. Now, under the influence of alcohol, he starts talking to her, considering her as a cross, and asks her to give him another chance, which makes her very angry. On the other hand, Suli was very happy. She was preparing the bed for her future baby and also clicked her photo. Then she got a call from Young, who wanted to meet her. Young told her about a hospital where the best doctor is and will help her in her surgery. Seeing this, Suli gets up and starts leaving. Young asks her, "Why do you want to keep this baby? What is your plan?" Suli says, "What? You are afraid that Su Hang will come back to me for this baby." She says that it is impossible, but Suli says that you too had once pretended to be pregnant to keep Nei Sheng on your side, but it is a pity that your baby was fake, but mine is real. After this, she goes away, but Young gets angry and comes after Suli to push her from the stairs. Suli turns back and looks at her, and in an effort to escape, she falls down, which injures her badly and gives her stomach pain. We then see Gang, who was waiting nervously outside the operation theater. She was afraid that she might get some bad news. Just then, Suli is brought out, who was in an unconscious state. Seeing her like this, Gang starts crying. When Suli regains consciousness, she first asks Gang about her child. How is he? First, Gang tries to answer it. On the other hand, Young is apologizing to Su Hang for her behavior. She told him that I should not do this to you. Then he forgives her. Now she asks him if Suli is in touch with him, and he refuses. Then she asks him to go shopping with her tomorrow, but he has to go on a shoot, so he gives her his card and says that tomorrow he will take the advance amount of his play, so she can comfortably go shopping. On the other hand, Suli had come back home as soon as he came. First of all, she goes to the room where she had arranged all the things for her future baby. Remembering all this, she starts crying. The next day, Suli goes to meet Jav, who starts leaving when she sees him. Suli says that she will just take 2 minutes of his time and doesn't need any help from him. When asked, she says that she needs his help in ruining Shaha. Hearing this, he says that he has been working with her for so many years, so he will not do all this. Suli says that he knew her even before Su Hang, so why didn't he help her? He starts explaining to her that there is no point in breaking the marriage by making it so complicated. In the end, she will be left with nothing and starts giving her advice. Even though he already knew about Su Hang and Yoon's affair, he hid it from her. Suli says that now he will have to make up for it. She shows some photographs on her phone in which Sao Jin used to take interviews of new candidates and send them to other companies to recommend them to her company. When they started considering new actresses, she would hire them at 20%. Suli says that if this thing comes to light in his company, what will happen to him? After hearing this, Sao starts apologizing to her and says that in the beginning he thought that Shuvang just wanted to have fun and not an affair. Hearing this, Suli says how can he even think of apologizing to her and letting himself go? For so long he was enjoying making fun of her. Now he should do some work and show it. From here we now see Shuang, who is dressing. He was getting ready for the shoot in the room when he gets a call from Young saying that there is no balance on his card. He is surprised to hear this because today he was going to get the advance payment for the shoot. He would have called someone, but his phone was not working. As soon as he reaches for the shoot, where the director was about to start the shoot, he gets a call, so he asks him to pack up the shoot. When Su Hang asks him, she tells him that his company has canceled the shoot. Hearing this, he immediately goes to his boss, Mr. Lee, to talk about why he has not received the payment yet and why the shoot is canceled. Mr. Lee says that it is not just the shoot but all his future projects that have been canceled, which surprises him. Then Saul tells him that the company has come to know that the amount of Lu's payment was leaked, and he had a hand in it. Because of his actions, Lu's career is now in danger, and he will have to pay compensation for whatever loss they have suffered. Hearing this, Xuan gets very angry and says that for so many years he has helped the company so much. They have made a profit, so how can they do this to him? Mr. Lee says that he has benefited them a lot, but all those resources were Suli's. Now that they are divorced, how will he handle all this? On top of that, his and Young's affair can be a problem for them, and no one will want to keep a person like him in the company. Shivank angrily says that he has been so loyal to the company and is getting this result. Mr. Lee says that if he had been so loyal, why did he go to meet with another company that day? Hearing this, Shivank understands that he is being trapped. He angrily says that he will not leave anyone and goes away. Later, Sao also goes back. Just then, Shu Hong comes and sits in her car and asks her whether she reported him or not. Zhao now has to tell everything, explaining that Suli blackmailed him, which is why he had to do all this, which he understands after hearing. He leaves saying that Suli will not leave him without destroying him till his death, and that he will see Sao later. Here we see Suli, who has woken up after having a bad dream as he is still recovering from the pain of his baby's departure. The next day she was preparing for an event, then Su Hang comes to her and says that you had promised that you will divorce me without troubling me. Suli says that you had also promised that you will cheat me. Here he accepts his mistake of not giving and asks Suli, "What are you going to get by trapping me after all? When will you leave me?" Then she says that after your death, but Shuang here catches her in anger and he says that you should tell the truth in front of Mr. Lee, that you are behind all this, otherwise I don't even know what I will do. Seeing this, Suli says that you are a #1 coward, you need me to make your career. Hearing this, Shuhag is unable to control his anger. He pushes her so hard that her head hits a stand, and she falls down, where blood starts flowing from her head. Now here she was smiling, looking at him. Then the curtain of the stage also opens where the audience was sitting, and now everyone starts recording on their phones how Su Hang hit Suli. They call the police and help Suro. From here we now see both of them in the police station where an officer was also sitting. He asks Suri if you have any demands. Then she tells that I will send the criminal to jail. But Shuang says in a loud voice that he is being framed, but the officer silences him and says that it is your fault. You should apologize to Suli so that your punishment can be reduced. And now because anyway, his soul had already been respected, so he apologizes to Suli. Seeing such shamelessness, Suli says that jail would be the best place for you. He forbids her to cross the line, but she says that I have crossed the line, but she says that I have crossed the line, but you. I'm not heartless that this happened to baby because of you. Shuang tries to ask her what's the matter because she didn't know anything about it at all. But she tells him not to act ignorant and says that a famous actor killed his wife and cheated on her. I will spread this news to everyone. Shan angrily tells her that I will not leave you so easily, after which Sully comes back to her house with Gang. She also asks him to go home and rest, that is why she leaves. While she was working in her house, Cheyenne comes there, who again had some stuff left. Kang asks her to take everything in one go this time. When she comes inside, he apologizes to her for everything he did. Kang doesn't want to talk to him about the past and tells him to leave her alone. Now Moping is here for her. An eagle was about to fall above, but Shan saves him, due to which he gets hurt and blood starts coming from his head. Seeing this, Gang gets very scared and she quickly starts going to get first aid, but she stops him. Gives and tells that after being away from you, I realized that you are a very nice girl, but for Gang, all the old things were old. Tishan starts trying to convince me a lot. He says that if you want, you can kill me, but don't give this punishment. Now Gang's heart melts after she has done so much. She forgives him, due to which Shan becomes very happy and hugs her. The next day we see Suli when she reaches the office. So many reporters were already waiting for her there. They started asking her different types of questions, to which she replied that I had considered Su-hang as a man with whom I could share my life, but he did not like me. You cheated on me with your best friend. A reporter asks what happened, that Su-hang had to go to detention for 15 days and why did he raise his hand on you? Soli says that Shaw always takes help from me in work matters. But when the matter of the affair came to light, I stopped helping him. He came to me to vent out his anger. Now the same thing starts happening everywhere, that Su-hang is such a big cheater, Soli. Now here is she plays a trick and tells a lie in front of the media that Su-hang had promised to give me all his property so that he can pay for the emotional damage done to her. She was watching all this news on TV. On the other hand, Mr. Lee also came in front of the media. Shu breaks her contract with Hong and has to pay him a huge amount of compensation for defrauding the room. After watching all this news, Shu gets upset and turns off the TV. When she looks down, there are many reporters watching her. We were waiting. Even everywhere people were making negative comments against her, that she is a mistress who cheated on her best friend. Then someone knocks on the door of her house. When she goes and looks, some ladies have come outside. Young starts to close the door, but the lady stops her and says that I am the owner of this apartment. I cannot give the house on rent to you anymore, and says that my lease is not over yet, so I will not go. But that lady says that I will give you a compensator riot. My apartment is on top in this area in terms of reputation, and I cannot put the reputation of this place at stake because of you. When she is not agreeing, the lady puts up posters outside her house saying that there is no mistress living here. Seeing this, she starts tearing those posters. Then the landlord gives her 2 days' time and leaves from here in the evening. Now she goes out to eat, where people recognize her and start taking her photos, where one of them throws her down with a bed, due to which she gets hurt, and seeing herself being insulted so much, she leaves from here. She goes to the washroom where she was crying a lot, and now from here she goes to the jail to meet Shaw, where he asks her to ask for help from Mr. Wu and Mr. Jank, but she says that she has already helped them. She has contacted them, but due to some reason or another, they are not able to help her. Seeing this, he understands that those people will not be of any use to him in bad times. Then Young also tells him that they should break up. Shivank says, "You are also leaving me in these difficult times." Jung shows her hurt by removing her glasses and says, "In public, everyone is looking at me like their enemy. I can't bear the time, that's why we should break up." He says, "Suli told me that she has lost her child. Do you have a hand in this instead of telling the truth?" She says, "You still have faith in him." Hearing this, he holds her hand and says, "No, I don't even trust you. If you leave, I will have nothing left." So Young says, "You have nothing left to start with," and breaks up with him and leaves. As she approaches the house, she sees the same girl and her mom. This time her mom was scolding her because she used to study silently from them. When she asks her where did this money come from, the girl says, "I got this money from my grandmother. Mom had sent me so that I can study." Seeing this, Mom says, "Your younger brother does not have good shoes to wear, and she is giving you money to study." On this, the girl says, "Have you ever heard about me? I have been thinking that since the time my brother came, you have not bought me even a dress or shoes. I want to study like other children, and to add money, I do the homework of other children in the class." Hearing this, Mom asks her to do the homework of other children so that she can bring that money to her. Seeing everything happening, Young comes between them. She takes the side of the girl and tells her mom, "You are in today's world. There is still a difference in gender. You do not deserve to be a mother. This girl just wants to live a normal life like other children, but you will not let it happen like this." On the other hand, we see Gang. When she opens her eyes in the morning, her heart is full of joy. He was standing in front with flyers. She tells him there is no need to do all this, but he tells her, "Thank you for letting me come back home." After which he tells her today's plan: we will go to watch a movie today. Then we will go for Aji Bishan, and then for a candlelight dinner he takes her to get ready. Sina also comes here to the apartment owner who had come to take the room key from Young. When she sees the door open, she comes inside, but as soon as she goes to the washroom, she gets shocked because NG had cut the vein of her hand and she was bleeding. We see Gang, who comes running to Suli and tells her that Young is coming to meet them and there are a lot of reporters with her. Young is now here, telling those reporters that Su Hang is a liar. Then Soli also comes there, seeing which Young says in her mind, "You must be enjoying being innocent in front of the camera, but today it is my turn to defeat you in your game." Young is now crucified for the sympathy of the reporters. She sits on her knees in front of Suli and apologizes to him, saying, "I believe that I have done a lot of wrong, and I wish I could go back in time." Suli says, "I also want the same, so that I don't decide to meet you both at that time." She says that she is so remorseful that she has even tried to take her own life. Having said this, she shows him her hand, which was bandaged, seeing which Suli gets suspicious. That's why she removes the bandage in front of everyone, and everyone is surprised to see that she had a fake cut mark on her hand. Suli says, "You seem to have recovered a bit quickly. Don't think that I am behaving rudely with you, this is the law." Saying this, Suli leaves from there, after which all the reporters start questioning NG, and now she herself is trapped in the trap created by her. Scene now shifts to Gang. Gang comes, who was going somewhere, when she sees some people below the apartment who are beating Shan. Seeing this, Gang quickly comes there. From their words, it is known that those people had lent money to Shan. Instead of returning it, Shan asks for 3 more days' time, and then they start beating him again. Seeing this, Gang comes in between and tells them that she has called the police, then they leave from there. Gang now takes care of Shan and brings him home, where he tells her that his partner Peter lied to him. He convinced him to invest all his money and then got a loan in his name. He took an interest loan whose amount is about 5 million yuan, which is quite high, and today the debt collector had come to take the money from her. After listening to him, Gang understands that Shan has come to her to escape from the debt collector. She angrily goes to her room, although Shan was refusing her, but Gang does not listen to anything. After some time, Shan prepares dinner with his own hands and calls Gang to feed her, but she refuses. Now, at midnight, when Gang wakes up, she sees that the food was kept on the table, meaning Shan also did not eat anything. Then she sees the door open. When she goes out, she sees Shan trying to collect money through his contacts, but he was not getting any help from anywhere, due to which he got upset and was smoking a lot. Gang also comes back to her room and starts thinking about Shan. She is remembering incidents in her mind that prove he has changed now. She can't sleep thinking about it. Then we see Suli, who had covered all his wife's belongings from his room. He was feeling very bad while doing this because he had seen that she had planned everything for the child to be born. She had many new expectations from the arrival of that child, but perhaps fate had something else in store. She says that she will have to take difficult steps if she wants to move ahead, so she hopes that in some other world, both of them will definitely meet in the future. The next day, when Gang wakes up and comes out of the room, she sees that Shan was sleeping on the bed. She covers him with a blanket, but he wakes up. Gang gives her card and says that it contains all her savings till now. "You give it to the debt collectors, and I will arrange whatever amount is left." Shan takes that card, hugs her, and says thank you. After this, Gang goes with Suli to a meeting with Mr. Chan, where Mr. Chan, seeing Gang for the first time, asks who she is. Suli tells him that she is his assistant. Now, while they were going for the meeting, Suli gets a call. She looks at Gang and says that this call is to take the remaining balance of their last project, so she should handle it. Inside the meeting, she deals with the situation in Suli's stead for the next project. Mr. Chan hands over the contract. When Suli was about to get it signed, he tells her that he wants to talk to her assistant about something in private, where his intentions were very wrong. Hearing this, Suli refuses and says that they will talk about the contract again. When he asks when they will talk, she says never and comes out of the room. Gang asks her what happened. Did we get the project? But Suli doesn't tell her the truth because she doesn't want to put her in tension. Now even Gang understands which contract has been cancelled. She remembers that she had forgotten Suli's phone inside the waiting area, which she quickly goes to get. As she is bringing it, she finds Mr. Chan there. Gang starts asking about the contract and says that Suli worked hard for it. But Mr. Chan says that it seems Sully didn't tell her the truth about what happened inside. He starts speaking ill of her, saying you will get very few career opportunities with her, and lies that he had requested Sully to send Gang here so that he could make her the administrative manager according to her capabilities. But Sully refused, saying that Gang's skills are not more than those of an assistant, so he does not want to work with such a person. He also suggests to her that she should not work with Sully as she is too self-centered. Gang feels bad after hearing this. Now, when she returns home, she sees that Shan had decorated the entire house for her. She is quite surprised to see this. He then sits on his knees and says to her, 3 years ago, I could only reward you by giving you a silver ring, and even today, my situation is the same. But I have not forgotten when we had decided to live together. He apologizes that he couldn't give her a good married life and promises that he will always be there to help her and keep her happy. After which he shows her the ring. She apologizes to him for being so busy with work that she forgot their anniversary. Shan makes her wear the ring and says, I have borrowed a lot of money to repay, for which you had to give me all your savings. But now I have to find the way forward on my own. I cannot become a burden on you. Saying this, he forces her to get a divorce. Gang says, we will find some way or the other. I will borrow money from Sully. We are good friends and she will definitely help me so. She tells Shan not to do so. But she doesn't listen to him, so he hugs her crying. On the other side, we see Sully, who is in the library. A boy sitting behind her, who was watching the drama, starts saying in a loud voice that he did not like the story of this drama at all. When he read the scriptwriter's name, she was shocked. But he didn't know that she was sitting near him and listening to him. The boy says that if in the next episode the boy and the girl do not meet, he will start thinking of Sully as Razor Bledsoe, and himself as a better scriptwriter than Sully. Hearing this, Sully goes away from there without coming into his sight, but the boy sees her and is unable to recognize her. After this, Sully goes to the spa with Gang. Seeing Gang in a lot of tension, Sully asks the reason for it, but she does not tell him anything. After coming out from there, Sully gets a gold card of the spa made for her too, so that in the future, whenever she feels stressed, Gang can come here and relax. Now she can't control herself anymore and tells him about her husband Shan's problem, for which Gang wanted to borrow money from him. But as soon as she heard Shan's name, she refused. She tells him, you should not believe his words, he is no longer trustworthy. But Gang takes Shan's side and says he has completely changed, but Sully flatly refuses to give him the money and says, I am completely against you both getting back together, after which she calls him brother and leaves from there. Now, when Gang goes home, where Shan had prepared dinner for her, Gang tells him when she was sitting with him, Sully refused to give the money. Hearing this, Shan surprisingly asks, weren't you both friends? But then he immediately changes his expression and says, money does not matter to me, I will find a way on my own. But then in conversation he tells her, it seems that Sully is not as good a friend of yours as you think her to be. By talking like this, he was trying to create a rift in Gang's mind about Sully, but Gang knew very well that Sully treats her very well. Then Shan makes a plan to watch the play for tomorrow, for which she agrees. On the other hand, we see Sully, who was leaving in a hurry, carrying a bag with her, but then one of her heels breaks. She doesn't know what to do. Then a boy comes there who was the same person who had abused Sully in the library, and this person's name is Wang. When Sully asks him for help, he also breaks her other heel to balance, which makes her even more upset. When she looks at his face carefully, she recognizes that he is the same boy from the library. Sully gives him her brick and says, I am surprised to know that I am the one to whom you were going to send Razor Blaze. Wang says, my car is nearby. I can drop you there. After taking her help, Sully agrees. Now, when both of them reach near the house, Wang tells her that he likes her stories very much. Sully thinks that he is just praising her, but he says, it is not so. I want to become a screenwriter, but due to family pressure, I have to evolve in the business. He asks Sully to teach him script writing, but Sully says if you start writing on your own, then you will lose your interest in teleplay, after which he leaves from there. Then we see when Shan was alone at home, the same debt collectors who had come today to take his money come there. When Shan asks for a little more time, they were about to cut his fingers, which Shan manages to stop. He says that he has an idea to bring money. He shows them the photo of Sully on his phone and tells them, she is my wife's best friend. If you ask for money from her, she will definitely give you the money. Sully was quite popular, so they also knew her and also knew that she is rich. So now they go out in search of Sully. On the other hand, Gang, who was waiting for Shan for the play, calls him asking where he is, and he tells her the whole story. He says, the debt collectors had come here, and when they were going to hurt me out of fear, I told them about Suli and that I knew her, so now they will go to her after hearing this. Gang quickly leaves to meet Suli. She also tries her prank, but because she was busy with work, she was not picking up the phone. Here, the debt collector reaches Suli's office and tells her that your friend's husband has borrowed a lot of money from us, and now you have to repay it. Then Gang also quickly runs into the office and picks up a statue to scare those goons, but then she sees that Suli was telling them that Gang is just my assistant, or should I say that she is nothing more than a granny to me. Why would anyone pay for the debts of their granny? Their boss says that Shan told us his wife is your best friend. So Suli says that if everyone who takes a photo with me tells you they are my friend, will you believe them? Anyway, Shan has taken your money, so go and ask for it from him. If he harasses me, I will call the police. Hearing that I will call the police, these people leave from here. After that, Suli takes a sigh of relief, though she herself was scared. She says that by saying all this, she saved Gang from being harassed, but in her mind, she had no feeling for Gang. She really considered her as her best friend. Now, she quickly calls Gang and tells her the situation here, but Gang misunderstands after listening to half of Suli's words. She does not pick up her call, and as soon as she reaches home, she sees that Shan was lying unconscious and there was a cut mark on his hand. Now, she gets very nervous and quickly takes him to the hospital where, when he regains consciousness, Gang tells him that he has undergone surgery. She asks, how did all this happen? And they tell her that Suli had told them that you are not her friend, and she flatly refused to give the money, after which all three of them came back and did this to him. Hearing this, Gang feels very bad. She was sitting alone and thinking about it a lot, and looking at her, it seemed that now she would definitely take revenge from Suli. The next day, when we see Suli, she finds a parcel in the letterbox along with a note. The note says that this floss is for you, which I have selected with my own hands. Seeing that, a smile comes on Suli's face. Now, as soon as she reaches the office, Gang tells her today's schedule. After listening to this, Suli asks her to postpone the dinner with the producer, but Gang tells her that it would not be good to do so at the last moment. Hence, she gives her the idea that I should go as I have only a little work left. Suli agrees and says that I will see to it myself. Then she tells Gang about those debt collectors yesterday, that they had reached the company, so Shan should not be divorced. But Gang says that I will handle the matter myself. Suli asks her to be alert. Gang then goes to an art gallery from there and meets this producer. The producer tells her that if the terms of our contract are acceptable, then we can proceed further. But Gang tells her here that Suli is looking for another big investor for the project. Hearing this, the producer says that we have been waiting for this project for a long time. If Suli does this, then all our hard work will be wasted. Hence, people request Gang to convince Suli, even if some more conditions have to be added to the contract, on which Gang says, what will be my benefit in this? Because you will get the benefit of millions after getting the project, but I will get the same salary. The producer understands the matter and says not to worry about it. Then Gang also agrees to convince Suli, and both of them go for dinner from here. The scene now comes to Suli, who was at home. When she looks, the same boy had come there, and he had brought dinner for Suli. But she says that I have already had dinner. Then he says that I am thirsty, so can I get water? So Suli goes to get it for him, but she calls him inside the house where he sees that she has kept the flowers sent by him on her table. Suli directly asks him if he likes her, hearing which he starts blushing and says yes. She tells him that I have just come out of my bad marriage and do not want to start a new relationship. Hearing this, he says that I have not even tried and you are demotivating me. Suli explains that in a relationship, things don't work like this. If you choose the wrong person, then no matter how hard you work, everything is wasted. Wang says that we should try at least once, but there is no expectation left regarding Suli's relationship. But Wang still wanted to try, so Suli says that in return for your effort, you will get hurt. From here, we then see Gang, who brings Shan home from the hospital. She gives him her card and says that here there is some more money in it, pay off your debt with this. Seeing this, he gets surprised as to where the money came from. Gang tells him that she got it from working, for which he thanks her. The next day, when Suli is somewhere, she sees a flower parcel, but this time she ignores it and goes to the office. From there, she gives the budget sheet to Gang and tells her to give it to Lan so that he can compare. Who is paying her well for the next project? Gangi asks for the task for herself and says that with this, I will be able to train myself better for you and will be able to help you more in the future, which is surprising to hear because Gangi said that it was because of you. I mean, you are such a good boss that I have to keep improving myself. The next day, when Suli leaves for work again, she sees that no parcel of floss had arrived today, but it doesn't matter to her. She goes to the bookstore where she was reading a book. Then she sees Wang there watching her. She calls him over and says that you are stalking me, but he says no, it is nothing like that. I just came for my work. Sully advises him that people who keep saying again and again that I like you look cheap. And anyway, now I am not an 18-year-old girl. Wang says that I do not keep saying I like you to anyone. I am only saying this to you. You do not need to take my burden on yourself. I am saying this to you. Sully will not agree to take my responsibility. Sully says that there is no burden on me and goes away from there, but he also starts following her. When Sully confronts him, he says, hey, I should also go in the same direction. She starts getting suspicious, but now when he follows her in the lift, Sully was not able to understand anything. As soon as she reaches her office, she asks Masul if he wants to have a personal interview. Just then Wang comes from behind and tells that yes, I have arrived because he was the candidate for the interview. So now Sully is forced to take his interview, where she directly tells him that you do not meet the requirements of our company. That's why we can't hire you. Hearing this, he says that I have all the qualities that are required for this job, but Sully says that I want an assistant for me who will concentrate on the work and not someone who has some other motives. Wang says that I have applied here only after doing a lot of research. When Sully asks what research did you do, he runs and sits in front of him and tells his journey till now, from his graduation to his first script. My dream is to become a scriptwriter like you. I just want a chance. Gang gets impressed by his words and tells Sully that we should give him a chance. Then Sully deliberately tells him a lower salary and says that he will have to work overtime. He refuses but immediately agrees and gets ready to come from tomorrow. When Sully asks him to leave after keeping him, he says that I am not with you. Seeing this, Gang asks if both of you know each other. Sully denies this, but Gang says yes, hearing which she gets confused and walks away from there to explain it. As Sully was going after her, her dress gets torn a little. Wang colors her leg black with a marker and says that for a boy who likes someone, the girl always remains 18. After coming home, Sully now marks her leg with that marker. At night, we see Gang where Shan was drying her hair. Gang was liking this feeling very much. She tells him that even though our financial condition is worse than before, now I am very happy. He tells her that he has found a small project from which he will get some money, and if he keeps getting some small work, then he will repay the money. After that, I will give all the money to you. On this, he shows her a card and says that both of us will work together and collect the money to pay off the entire debt. Now at night, when Gang goes to sleep, Shan was doing something on the laptop. Looking at him, it seemed as if he was doing some online dating, etc. Today, he had invested all the money that Gang had given him in it, but perhaps he had suffered a loss due to which he was getting very angry. On the other hand, we see Sully, who was sleeping when she heard the sound of glass breaking. When she wakes up, she sees that someone had put a snake in a bag and thrown it through the window. She gets very scared and comes out of the house and calls the police. After some time, the police come there and handle the whole situation. They tell her that they have increased the security, but for security reasons, she should shift somewhere else for some time. After this, we see Su Hang. Actually, it was Su Hang who had done all this, but now he is hiding. He goes to meet Young, but after reaching there, he learns from the lady that she had gone to the bank. He asks her where she might have gone, but the lady also did not know anything. The lady now recognizes that it is Su Hang. She says that you have come to meet your mistress, but he quickly leaves from there. The next day, Sully was sleeping in the office due to staying awake all night. Then Wang comes there and asks her to take her today's task. He had come for her, but she talks very angrily, seeing which he says that you talk so nicely to everyone else but not to me. So Sully gives him 3 books to read for today and says that I want his notes, hearing which he gets surprised as to how he will do it in a day. But Sully says that if he can't, then resign. So he shuts his mouth and goes from there. After this, Gang comes to meet Sully. She tells him that for our next project, Mr. Zhang's company is ready to pay the highest, so we will be in touch with them. She praises Zhang's company and says that she will work on visual styling to make his teleplay even better. But it will pay more attention, but it will not make any difference to the audience. That's why we will change the team or look for some other companies. After hearing these praises, Sully says that we have to make our play the best, so whatever festival you find, I will focus on you. After this, when Sully was going back home after working till late at night, she saw that Wang was still sitting and making notes from the book. At the same time, he also comes there, feeling that all her hard work has been appreciated. She will praise him, but instead she asks him to complete it quickly and mail it, then leaves. Seeing this, poor Wang starts working with a sad heart. After some time, a food delivery man arrives. Wang is very happy to see that the food was ordered for him and says that it is so hard from outside but very soft from inside. The next day, we see Gang again. After looking at some documents, he tells the delivery man to call the person who will take it, instead of going to the office at the given address. After taking out the document, Gang messages Mr. Jung collects the package of information and delivers it to him. When Sully opens the package, it contains her photo with blood on it. Both Sully and Gang are very scared. They see the delivery person to whom Gang had given the documents. It was none other than Shuang, who had included the photo in the packet. Upon looking at the document, Shuang is very happy to see that it contains the budget sheet for Sully's company's next drama. On the other hand, when Gang was going home after work, he gets a message with a photo of himself. The message tells Gang that if he doesn't want his boss to know everything, he must come and meet at 8. Seeing this, Gang gets very nervous, wondering who it could be. When she goes to meet the person, it turns out to be Shu Hong. She is surprised to see him and asks what he wants. Shu Hong says that since she did not let him live in peace, now it is his turn. Sully never expected her bestie to do this to her. Shu Hong tells Gang that Sully will do something to her if she finds out. But he gives her a chance and asks for money in return. Gang says she doesn't have any money. Shu Hong replies that he knows, but Sully does, and he has no other option but to take revenge on Sully. Shu Hong reveals his plan to use his connections to make a short film with a budget of 20 million. He has investors and the contract is signed, but he needs money urgently. He asks for 1 million yen, saying Sully can easily get it, and promises to return the amount in a week so that Sully will not even know that Gang is involved. With no other option, Gang agrees to his terms and leaves. Later, Sully, after having a meeting with everyone, tells Gang that she received a call from the publisher stating they haven't received the payment yet, and asks what is going on. We see a flashback from the night before, where Gang filled in the details of Su-hang instead of the publisher to transfer the amount. To handle the situation, she says the bank might still be processing the payment. After returning, Gang calls Su-hang to ask when he will return the money, but he doesn't answer. Gang goes to meet him at the hotel where he is staying. She asks why he wasn't picking up her calls, explaining that Sully is pressurizing her for the money. Su-hang tells her that he can't give the money back as the producer has run away with it. Gang realizes he was fooling her all along. Su-hang says that if she gives him the key to Sully's house, he can continue his project. He plans to take a diamond he gifted to Sully, which will help him handle everything. Gang agrees and gives him the keys, but insists she needs them back before Sully returns from her script meeting. Su-hang takes the keys and goes inside with Gang. Instead of stealing just the diamond, Su-hang tries to steal more of her jewelry. Gang tries to stop him, but he claims all of it is his. Suddenly, Sully appears and starts recording, declaring the headlines for tomorrow about an ex-actor committing theft. She asks if he will surrender or if she should call the police. Both are surprised to see Sully there. Su-hang says that his reputation is already ruined, so it doesn't matter to him, but questions how Gang will face Sully. Sully reveals that she already knew everything and told Sully. Su-hang is shocked and claims he only came to collect his things. Sully asks how he will take care of her child. Su-hang says it's good that she didn't give birth to the child, otherwise if he knew how much they hate each other, his life would be tragic. Su-hang then takes out a chalk to scare them and harms them for no reason. Both leave but hear a loud noise outside. They see that Su-hang had met with an accident and is bleeding heavily. Sully gets scared and they rush to the hospital. The doctor informs them that Su-hang is in a coma and it's uncertain when he will wake up. Coming out of the room, Sully now asks Gang to arrange a caretaker for her whom he has been taking so much care of. Gang says that he treats you so badly, but you are still helping him. Then Sully explains that her parents are in their hometown and are very ill, and Su-hang is the only one in the city. We see that Shuang is now conscious. How he will behave once he's awake will only be known later. After this, Sully asks Gang why Chawang came after him. She lies to Gang, saying that Chawang blackmailed her, claiming that he would harm Gang if she didn't help him, which scared her into compliance. Sully responds that Gang is not at fault, so she will protect him. After leaving the office, Wang tells Gang that they have only 2 hours to meet Director Lai. When Wang learns that they are going to work with Mr. Lai, he becomes very excited and says he has seen all his pictures. Gang says that many companies are trying to work with Mr. Lai. Gang then asks Sully to give him notes about Mr. Lai's character to help convince him. Sully, seeing Wang's excitement, asks him to book tickets for her too. Gang says he will also go as he is in charge of the project and doesn't want Wang to make any mistakes because Mr. Li is a very hot-headed person. But Suli refuses Gang and asks him to give all the details to Wang. The next day, both Suli and Wang go to meet Mr. Li. Wang briefs Suli on every detail that will help impress Mr. Li. When Suli is ready, Wang keeps looking at her and starts fixing her hair. But Suli moves back. While waiting for Mr. Li, Suli gives him her card. Mr. Li notices her bag, which Wang mentions is made of recycled material, impressing Mr. Li. When ordering food, Wang suggests non-veg items to Mr. Li, who stands up, says he has another appointment, and starts to leave. Suli stops him, explaining that she had to wait months to book a table at this restaurant because they use special flavors that take time. Hearing this, Mr. Li stops and asks what is special about the food here. Mr. Li goes to the restroom, and Suli asks Wang if he noticed that Mr. Li took a vitamin tablet as soon as he arrived. She explains that it means he is a vegetarian, as he is getting his vitamins through tablets rather than non-veg food. Wang admits his mistake. Meanwhile, Gang goes to the hospital to meet Su Hang. Seeing him in this condition, she says that it's a good place for him as he will no longer cause trouble. She hasn't told Suli about what she did behind her back, but she appreciates that Suli never doubted her, despite losing millions. After Gang leaves, Su Hang's hand moves, indicating he is recovering. The scene returns to Suli and Wang, who have successfully secured a deal with Mr. Li, making Wang very happy. However, Suli says they will need to work hard as many competitors are trying to work with Mr. Li. She asks Wang to go for dinner, but Suli denies being hungry. Yet when her stomach growls, Wang takes her to eat street food, saying it is much better than expensive food. He tells her that he used to come here when he was short of money. As soon as the lady brings noodles, Suli tries them and likes them very much. Wang suggests trying them with garlic, but Suli initially refuses. He insists, saying that a writer must taste everything in life. She tries it with garlic and likes it even more. The scene shifts to Gang, who is having dinner with Koi Koi Sishan. When asked why, Gang says Suli is suspicious of her because she was not taken on a business trip. She wonders if Suli plans to replace her. Shan suggests taking a large amount of money and running away before Suli can act against them. Gang refuses, saying Suli won't treat her like she did Su Hang because she is her best friend. Shan reminds her that Su Hang was Suli's husband and Young was her best friend, yet look what happened to them. Shan proposes they find a place to start anew, work hard and earn money together to overcome their hard times. Gang agrees to the plan. The scene returns to Suli, struggling to walk in heels while going back with Wang. Wang offers to carry her, but she refuses. So he goes to a shop and brings comfortable slippers for her so she can walk easily. You seem to have changed a lot from before, Suli says. How? Tell me, Wang responds. I thought you were troubled by your ex-husband's accident. Suli continues. Hoagie Suli says that her life is going on very wastefully, which I am very happy about, but for her, the feeling was 5050 because she was not happy after taking her revenge. I don't think anyone will marry me again because of this. But Wang says, I am here, but Suli starts talking to him about work. He was not focused on the road when a speeding motorcyclist was about to hit him, but Wang pulls him and saves him, bringing them closer and making things quite awkward. Now when Suli comes back and is working late at night, Gang brings food for her. As Suli goes to the restroom, Gang's eyes fall on her laptop screen, revealing something important. The next day, as Suli is going somewhere, she sees Gang getting into a car with someone else. She was on the phone with Wang, who was supposed to pick her up. He tells her that his car broke down and it will take time, so Suli does not pay attention to Gang. Here, Gang gives some documents to the person in the car and receives something in return. After this, Suli presents the script of the drama to Mr. Li, which she named at the end of time. When she starts explaining the plot of her story to him, he cancels the meeting and gets up to leave. Suli asks the reason for this. When she follows him, his assistant tells her we heard the same story yesterday, which surprises her. She says, I have been working on this for a long time. This is my original idea, but nothing helps. Afterwards, Suli meets Gang alone and tells him there is someone in our company who is leaking information. Gang gets nervous and says, it is not me. Suli replies, I know. I told you so that we can catch them, but until then, we have to behave as if we know nothing about it. Later, Wang sneaks off to meet someone who is none other than Dai, and we learn that the script was actually stolen by Wang. After the job is done, Dai gives Wang a packet containing a lot of money and tells him, you have to do another task for me. You have to take some intimate photos with Suli so that I can prove that these photos are from before her divorce, so all the blame of the affair can go on her. Wang says, I will give you more money in return, and there is no point in showing you her face, but taking Soli's side, he says she is not as bad as you told me. Because of her reason for doing all this at that time, then Dai starts telling him, what are you dreaming about? She will never like you, and how much worse she is. You don't know. Wang starts to leave, saying, now I will not support you, but Dai starts blackmailing him. If Soli comes to know that you had a hand in leaking the script, she won't know what to do with you. We also learned that Wang is not a rich person. It was Thi's plan to send him closer to Soli, but the fact was that Wang liked Soli. Dai says, if you don't want to do this work, no problem. I will get it done by someone else, and I will make Soli's life hell. I will tell her that you have done all this, then how can she ask you to do it? He gets scared after hearing that Dai will take revenge. After thinking a lot, he takes the money. With Suli, who is concentrating on her phone, she doesn't notice that Wang is in front of her and bumps into him, causing the coffee in her hand to spill. Seeing this, Wang quickly starts cleaning it. When Wang picks up the document and gives it to Suli, he realizes that it is from the same company that accused Suli of copying the script. Wang asks her about it, and Suli tells him that one of their people met them. Wang gets scared and Suli becomes suspicious. He asks if she knows anything about it. She says that they are searching for the person, but to keep it between them for now. She leaves and we see Gang calling someone named Mr. Cheyenne, who shouts at her, saying that he found out Suli is not doing that international project. We learn that the man in the car to whom Gang gave the documents was Mr. Cheyenne. That day, after taking the documents, Mr. Shan told Gang that his luxury stationery brand is looking for a brand ambassador in China. If Suli cooperates with Mr. Li, they will choose her. But since Suli was accused of stealing the script, their deal was not finalized, and Mr. Cheyenne demanded his advance back from Gang. She says the project is still not finalized and she can still get it. She gets tense because she took the advance deposit thinking she would secure the deal with Mr. Li, but now she is in trouble. Sina, trapped, goes to Wang, who is at home when he gets a call from Suli, but another person asks if he is the friend of the phone owner. Wang says yes and completes the conversation. He runs to a bar where he sees Suli very drunk. Wang asks her what happened, and she says she doesn't know who betrayed her and starts drinking more. He stops her from drinking and takes her to her house, laying her down in the bedroom. While giving her water, he holds her hand and asks why she cheated on him. Parsa gets nervous hearing this. She's speaking while drunk, says she has lost everything: her marriage, love, and child. She starts crying but now wants to work well in her career. She falls asleep immediately, tired. Seeing her in this condition, Wang remembers Young's words asking him to take intimate photos with Suli. After much thought, he takes out his phone and takes her photos. On the other hand, Gang gets a call from Miss Station again and lies, saying their deal with Mr. Li is moving forward and will be finalized soon. But he says they have found someone else to be the ambassador and could not wait any longer. She is surprised to hear this, as it means the contract will be broken. Mr. Shine says if the contract is broken, she will have to pay a penalty and return his deposit along with fees. Her tension increases because she had assured him of the deal and gave the deposit to her husband instead of Suli. She asks for some time to return the money, but Mr. Shine gets angry, saying if she can't, he will ask for the money from Suli. The scene now shifts to Wang, who goes to Ing and gives her the intimate photos with Suli, saying their deal is now over. Ing is happy and tells her they don't know each other anymore. After Wang leaves, Ing uploads the photos. The next day, the news spreads like wildfire that Suli cheated on her husband. Everyone is surprised, but Ing is happy as it was her plan for revenge. When Suli, who was successful, sees the news in her photo, she is shocked and doesn't understand what happened. Soon, many reporters come to her company, questioning her about the photos and the affair. Suli is asked if she implicated Su Hang in the affair to clear her way. She is unable to respond. Yanga arrives and tells Suli they have seen this day before, but this time Suli must apologize at her feet. She starts her drama in front of reporters, saying she seeks justice. She claims the man in the photo is a new employee with no experience, questioning why Suli hired him. Suli tells her to stay away from her company's matters, but Yanga reveals to the reporters that Suli cheated during her marriage and blackmailed them to help her. Yanga says Suli is behind Su Hang's current condition in the hospital, and that she has no fear now that Suli's affair is exposed. Suli insists it's all a lie, saying the photos are a trick to trap her. She asks Young to swear that her claims are true. Young swears, saying her end will be terrible if she lies. Suli says she would like to see that and smiles. At that moment, Wang arrives from behind. We see that on the day when Wang was about to take her photos, she stops him herself. When he comes back from the washroom after washing clothes, Sully asks him why he did not take photos. It means that she was just pretending to be drunk. She says that the files you saw secretly that day were deliberately kept there, causing your fingerprints to be on them. She was scaring him by saying all this. When Sully asked, he told her that Young got him to do all this in exchange for money because he was in dire need of it. Sully asks why he didn't take the photos, and he replies that he has started loving her and cannot think of harming her. However, she asks him to continue his plan. He then tells all the reporters about those photos, showing behind-the-scenes shots from a drama that were photoshopped with Sully. He also reveals that these photos were posted from a secret web account which was found to belong to Yi. Now, Yi gets trapped in her own scheme. All the reporters start questioning her, asking for reasons for her actions. After this, we see Young in Sully's office. Seeing her coming back, Wang and Sully think she will apologize, but instead she starts blaming them for ruining her life and making it more difficult. She cries and says that even for a small role, she has to face people's tantrums while Sully writes her scripts comfortably in an AC room. Sully responds that this is the result of her hard work. Young retorts, asking why Sully couldn't save her child, and mentions that Suheng doesn't even know what caused her miscarriage, intending to make her cry. Sully tells her that both she and Suheng are made for each other, stating that Suheng will go to jail for trying to kill her, and Young will face consequences for slandering her. Hearing about jail, Young gets angry, grabs scissors from the table, and tries to attack Sully, but Wang intervenes and stops her, getting hurt in the process. The next day, we see Sully with Gang, who is upset about the incident but relieved that Sully wasn't hurt. Mr. Cheyenne arrives, making Gang nervous about his deposit money. Sully sends Gang out and starts meeting with Mr. Shan. After the meeting, Sully leaves Gang downstairs. When they reach the lift, Gang asks what Mr. Shan was there for. Mr. Shan assures him he only came to talk to Sully about something else, but warns Gang to return the money within a week or he will talk to Sully about it. We then see Wang resting in the hospital room. He wants to call Sully but refrains. A nurse comes in and notices flowers outside the room. Wang rushes out and sees Sully, who tells him she didn't come inside because the doctor said he was fine. Wang says it matters to him that she came. He apologizes for his mistakes, and she forgives him, hoping he won't have to lie for money again. He regrets lying to her and asks for another chance, but Sully says he met her at the wrong time and leaves. Wang asks if she ever liked him, but she doesn't answer and walks away. When Gang gets home, Shan sees her dirty shoes and removes them, saying they should leave the city for a fresh start. Gang says she has done something she can't hide for long, so they need to leave soon. Shan says they need money for a new start, which he will try to collect quickly. Later, Sully changes her shoes at home and sees the shoes Wang helped her break. She thinks of visiting him and goes with flowers, but the nurse informs her that he was discharged that afternoon, leaving Sully disappointed. Shan and Gang prepare to leave the city. Shan tells Gang he will wait at the hotel and for her to come with the money. Gang takes a last look at the house, knowing she won't return. Wang arrives with coffee for her, surprising her. Wang says he had to come to work and asks if she went to the hospital out of concern. Sully says she already told him he was fired, but Wang insists she can't fire him during his medical treatment without a month's notice, so he's still her employee. Sully says she'll send the notice now, but Wang takes it positively, saying he has 30 days to impress her. At the office, Gang informs Sully that their project with Mr. Liu was ruined because of Shivank, but they re-engaged him, and he's now interested in the project. Sully is happy as Mr. Liu is a good actor, but he demands 1 million rupees in cash for tomorrow. Sully gets tense as she doesn't have that much cash but starts thinking of ways to arrange it. Gang already prepared everything and needs Sully's signature. Impressed with Gang's planning, Sully signs the documents, unaware that Gang plans to take the money and leave the city. Gang invites Sully for dinner as a last treat, insisting on paying. At the restaurant, Gang orders a lot of food. Sully questions the amount, but Gang says it's the last time she wanted to treat her well. Sully asks what she means by the last time, and Gang changes the topic, saying how can a salaried person keep treating her? Sully worries about her and advises not to overwork and to take care of her health. Gang gets emotional. Sully asks why she's behaving strangely, as if they won't meet again. Gang reveals she had a session with a doctor who advised these things, upsetting Sully. Auntie calls him Gang and says, "I have understood what you said. Now stop being like my mom and concentrate on eating." The next day, when Sully was leaving with a bag full of money, Wang comes and wants to eat with Sully. Seeing that he had brought a lot of drinks, she asks him, "Have you started doing deliveries now?" He says, I am a delivery person made only for you. You did not give me any work today, so I made myself useful hearing this. Sully gives him the bag and asks him to deliver it to the accounts department. After this, we see Gang, who goes to the accounts department to pick up the cash amount. The accountant tells him that there was not much cash available in the company, so Sully has withdrawn this amount from his personal account. He has clearly instructed that when Gang comes, he should be given the money. Hearing this, Gang starts thinking about how much more Sully owes him. While Sully was driving the car, she gets a call from the accounts department that Gang has taken the money. After that, Sully gets a call from Wang, which she ignores and goes to the aquarium to clear her mind. But Wang also comes there, surprising her. He asks, how did you know I am here? She says, you mentioned in one of your interviews that when you are sad, you come to such a place. Sully then asks, do you know that sharks never communicate with anyone? Due to this behavior, no fish goes near them. The same happens to us humans. The more powerful you become, the fewer friends you have. Wang responds, it is not so. If we look at the sky full of stars, many stars shine the brightest. It might seem that there is no one around them, but when we look carefully, they are not alone. If a person is feeling lonely, they should just ignore the small things around them. He then puts his hand forward and says, I don't know what you are worried about, but I will make you happy. Sully, thinking about this, holds his hand and they leave together. We then see both of them riding a bike. She asks him, where are we going? He replies, to a place where no one can find you. He takes her to a place outside the city where many stars are visible, which she could never see while living in the city. Sully is very happy to see them. Wang then brings out fireworks, which they both enjoy and feel very good about. Wang says everyone is the scriptwriter of their life. So why don't we write a happy ending for ourselves, which will make one laugh after listening to it. They both enjoy this moment together. When Wang drops Sully off, she thanks him for the day. He says, I should be the one to say thanks because you gave me a chance. I know there is no chance of me being with you, but I am happy to have spent this evening with you. He then leaves. The next day, Sully had left with Gang Shan to leave the city. Both of them are at the railway station. When Gang goes to the restroom, Shan goes ahead to wait for her. As Gang looks back at him, all the memories come flooding into her mind when she had sex with Sully, the time she spent with him. She considered him more than her friend and always guided him. But thinking about whether what she was doing with him was right or wrong, she starts crying. Then Sully comes there and she hugs him. They both leave together. Seeing her, Sully says, you are looking like a dirty kitty, so I will not keep anyone with me. He takes her to a private meeting where he makes love to her. She apologizes for whatever she did, and Sully says, you act so uselessly that I realized it when you didn't ask for 1 million from me, because no actor asks for such a huge amount of cash as a deposit. Even if I try to give it to him up front, he would refuse. Gang asks, if you knew everything, then why did you give me the money? Sully says, I wanted you to start a happy life because I always wanted you to live a happy life. Since then, I have treated you like my sister. You were the one who supported me in my bad times. When I saw how happy you started becoming after Shan's arrival, I felt my guess was wrong, that he would betray you, so I supported you in your lie. After hearing all this, Gang starts apologizing repeatedly. Sully says that an elder sister never gets angry with her younger sister. Then she keeps her quiet by placing her shawl on her shoulder. We are then told that Gang decided to stay here with Sully and face things together. Shan also came back to face it all with her. We then see the debt collectors. The police come and catch them because they were involved in illegal gambling and harassing Shan to repay the money. Shan comes to Gang, who sells her apartment and takes whatever money she got. She meets Sully and gives it to her, saying, this money is not complete, but I will try my best to repay your money as soon as possible. She also gives a resignation letter. Sully asks, have you resigned? Gang says, I have done a lot wrong and caused so much loss to the company. Staying here would be too humiliating for me. Sully asks, have you got a new job? Gang replies, no. Then Sully says, when are you going to repay my money? Gang has no answer to this. Seeing this, Sully says, if you leave the job like this and run away without repaying my money in full, then whom should I run after? That is why I do not accept your resignation. Don't even think about cutting the job before paying me the full amount. So that she can pay her dues early, Sully also increases her salary and includes her food and house allowance in it. Seeing this, Gang starts crying because Sully was still helping her so much. Seeing this, Sully hugs him and invites him for dinner with her, to which Gang agrees. In the next scene, we are shown Su Hang. It seemed as if he had regained consciousness when the nurse was taking him out for a walk. Then Suli comes to meet him there and takes him in a wheelchair to the studio and says that if I push you like this, people will believe that it was all just an accident. Due to this, Shuang gets scared and grabs the wheelchair, but Suli starts laughing because she was just joking. Shuang is also here now and apologizes to her that he did a lot of wrong to her. Now, after coming out of a coma after so long, he feels like life has given him a second chance. Now, when he thinks about the things that he had done in the past, he realizes what a fool he was that he did not cherish such a good wife. He ruined his own happy married life and career, and whatever happened to him, he deserved. A marriage between two people can survive only because of honesty and loyalty. But all this realization came to him much later. Hence, when he once again apologizes to her, Suli also accepts his apology and says that after so much time, I was also carrying the burden of resentment on myself, which was very suffocating for me. So now I want to let everything go. If we ever meet each other on the streets, then pretend that we are strangers. I hope that we both forget the past and start a new life and be happy. Shivank also tells her that he is going to leave the city, so they both are strangers now. Suli leaves from there. Now it seems that Soli has moved on and is doing well in her life. Whenever she goes to discuss some work with her employee, she sees that Wang is not there. They tell her that he will be there tomorrow. Suli becomes a little sad after hearing this. Wang also notices this. Now, when she was sitting at her desk thinking about this, Gang runs to Suli. Wang comes and asks him if he is free tonight, to which he answers in Solia. Then Wang tells him that his signatures have to be taken on some documents in the departure process there, but he has not come due to being ill. Can you go to her with these documents, because I have a lot of work here? Now Suli starts to refuse her, but by then she runs away and thinks of calling fast delivery but stops. Now we see that she reaches Wang's address and is hesitating to knock on the door. Then Wang comes from behind, seeing which she asks why he is roaming outside due to illness. At first she is surprised and thinks, should I kill him? But then he says, yes, I had gone to the hospital. The doctor said that I am not cold and need to drink hot water, then he invites her inside. Soli gives him the document and signs it. Soli asks him to rest, but Wang starts taking care of her, seeing which Soli tells him to rest and starts making hot water for him. Then she sees a message on Wang's phone from a script writing class that Wang is writing his notes. Seeing that, she understands that he was lying to her about being ill and had gone to attend his classes. In anger, she increases the temperature of the water. As soon as he touches the cup, it becomes very hot. Now she asks him about this message. Wang says that he is not sick. He actually wanted to become a good writer after doing classes so that he can come to her company again and work with her. Shuri says that he should have told the truth or lied about the illness. Then he says that he just wanted to spend time with her. But she gets angry at this joke and goes away from there. Now, after the incident, she talks to Gang about Sarvang. Due to this, Gang gets upset and says that for the last 2 hours he has been hearing only about him. She tells him that when a girl likes a boy, she keeps talking about him to her friends. Your condition makes it clear to her that you have a crush on him, which Soli starts denying. But thinking about it, she gets very upset and is not able to sleep properly. From here, we move on to December 31st. Let's see the scene where preparations were made everywhere to welcome the new year. Soli invites everyone in her office for dinner today, but everyone had their own plans. So she sends everyone home early so that she can at least celebrate with her loved ones. But because Soli had no plans, she was working in the office till late at night. When the New Year fireworks started, she was enjoying them while sitting there. Then she starts remembering the moment with Wang when he had taken her for a ride on the bike. She starts calling him but stops after thinking about it. Now, when she was going back through the market, she sees a music event where she goes. She feels very good seeing that everyone there was enjoying the dance with their partners. This makes her a little upset because there is no one with her to celebrate a special festival like New Year. So she asks Sally, who says, I was waiting for your call. She thinks he is lying to her, but as soon as she turns back, Wang comes in front of her. He says that he was not lying. Seeing him, a smile comes on her face. She moves towards him and recalls all those memories with Wang. She even remembered everything he said. And we see Soli smile when Wang asked her if she liked him. But she walks away without answering as she hugs him, which she had not expected. But he was happy that Soli explained her feelings to him. Now from here, the scene shifts to a long time later when we see that Young had been released from jail. Suli comes to meet him. She gives him a letter and a card given by Shah. When Young reads it, he apologizes to her. He says that after their breakup, she should come on the right path and live happily, spending the rest of her life. Suli now gifts him shoes and tells him to make the right decisions in his future life. One wrong move can cost you a lot. After this, she leaves. Seeing her, Young apologizes because now he also regrets his mistakes. He wears the shoes and leaves to start a new life. From here, we again see Suli at the wedding of one of her employees, where Gulen's future husband was concentrating more on his wedding planner. These people go on stage, and when she was giving him the mic, he was looking at her as if they were having an affair, which Suli was also looking at. And with this, our drama ends here. But in the end, we are told about Season 2, which will come soon. So guys, this was today's video, and I hope you liked it. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. See you again in the next interesting drama. Till then, goodbye.